Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Supernatural Talk. Um, right now, we have a very quiet Nick. Can't hear you, Nick.
I'm still getting used to the mic being muted.
Yeah, yeah. Connect wasn't able to stream. Okay, why?
But it's not streaming to a certain area.
Just one page. I'm not sure why.
Well, that's strange.
Yeah, luckily it's not one of the essential pages. It was just an extra.
Okay.
Well, we did have an Adrian sighting, I
I
thought.
don't know. I don't know where she went. Oh
Oh,
wait, there she is.
there we go. Hi,
Oh,
Adrian.
Adrian.
Oh, you're muted.
God, his mouse is so damn touchy. It's all over the screen, and I just let go of mine from work, and it's not like that.
You can actually adjust the settings on your mouse.
Yeah, but if I adjust his, I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh,
I'm not the one that's got to be on it.
so, moral of the story is put the mouse where it needs to be and don't touch it for the rest of the show.
Yep.
What about for the rest of the show?
So don't touch it. Don't touch him. He's got a new microphone that's like right here. I'm going to keep my lewd comments to myself, but I'm sure you can figure it out.
Do you even have the ability to do that?
We're going to try.
Anthony, that's what she said.
Something tells me that might be a New Year's resolution for her.
Yeah, I got a feeling too.
I didn't say it'd work. I just said I was going to try.
Okay.
What happened to the old mic that was there?
It started going out. I don't know exactly what happened, but he ordered this one. And it's still huge and in your face. And still looks like a very obscene object that if you open your mouth, it's going to go in it.
Oh, I'm sure there are some microphones out there like that.
Yep.
I'm quite sure there is. I just don't. I don't know if I'm on a show. I don't like it right up here between the screen and me.
There are some shows out there that I've watched on occasion, and their their microphone is like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right in front. Yeah, it's literally like right in front of their face.
I don't know how they can handle it. I wouldn't want that.
Well, nobody wants to hear you. I mean, if you're up in the microphone, nobody wants to hear this.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like, geez, that was like clear as crystal right there.
Why? Why?
Uh,
Hi, Robert. Hi, Anthony. Hey, Tom.
Clear. I'll give you that. It was
oh,
clear.
Robert.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
We don't need all that. No, my New Year's resolution this year is actually weight loss.
That's what I've already been doing.
You've been doing that for a while. I just got serious about it last week and joined Weight Watchers.
Oh, Weight Watchers. Okay.
Because I can't be exercising. I mean, I don't have time for that. 10 hours a day. I'm up and down these stairs at least 20 times during the day. So,
I really need to work on losing weight too because I stepped on the scale on New Year's Day for the first time in forever.
oh no.
Not like the number.
Oh,
Hi, Nikki. Yeah, well, it got to the point where I'm looking at it going, It's not going down. What was that?
I heard that too. What the hell was that noise?
I didn't hear anything.
It was like a shh.
Yep. What's up, Chris?
Are
Oh,
you
it's
sure that wasn't for me taking a drink?
No, it was not unless you just opened a soda in the
No.
mic. That's what it sounded like you were pouring soda. I don't know, but no, I looked at the. I've been looking at the scale and thinking, whatever. Yeah, well, whatever keeps going up, so whatever has to go back down. And Weight Watchers, you have. I see Sean heard it. You have like points, and there's no food you can't have. It's just, you want a piece of cake, that's going to be 10 points, and you're allotted 29 points a day. So, do you really want to waste your points on cake?
Oh wow.
it's kind of similar what I'm going through. Like whatever I eat, I try to keep it to no more than 1,500 calories a day.
Oh,
That's
that's
not
not.
enough. That's not enough for you. And what happens is your body starts storing the fat because it thinks you're starving it.
That's something that my mom suggested. So, but yeah,
At least 2,000 a day minimum.
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
man, absolutely. 2,500 usually for a man, especially in your prime. That's, an old man who's just sitting in his chair like this all day long, and it's different. 2,000, 1,500 might suffice, but not for you. But
Yeah.
we have lots of 0 point foods. If you want to eat, let's say, a piece of chicken breast, that's 0. You want to eat cottage cheese, half a cup is just 1 point. So you can have all that stuff. You can have anything you want, really. But, and here's matter of fact, if you look on Facebook, there's Weight Watchers groups. And some of them are like, somebody posted, well, I drink such and such alcohol, and they found this alcohol you can mix with this, and it's only 3 points. And everybody's berating them like, you can't be doing this, you can't have this, you're on Weight Watchers. Wrong. You don't give up everything you like, because if you do, you're going to fail.
yeah.
It's going to fail. It's moderation. So, and I don't like sweets anyway, so I'm good with that. It's the butter and bread I'm having a problem with.
That's usually a tough one. Yep.
See, like tonight, Zach is cooking shrimp with those little cheese ravioli things
Oh, those are good. Those are usually good. Yeah.
in marinara. That's not what I'm eating. I'm
Oh,
eating
really?
shrimp
Okay.
by itself with wild rice and green beans. I'm fine with that. I don't need all that other stuff. The shrimp by itself is good enough for me. And Chris would waste his points on cake. Yeah. I don't know. No. Then you don't get to eat the rest of the day. That's not okay.
Well, no, because if cake is 10 points a day, you can have 3 cakes a day.
And
One.
that's all you're going to eat. No. Ooh,
No, it's not good for you at all. But
No, it's not.
but
But you know what?
you can have 3 cakes a day.
But you know what? I started Monday, and I have lost 5 pounds. And I'm not hungry. Like I've never went hungry. So I'm good. Heard a whistle at work, like
That's what I was gonna say. What Sean said.
Oh, someone was trying to get your attention, obviously.
Yeah.
That's something in haunted locations that's what I hear. I don't understand the whistle. Is it just energy moving quickly? I don't know. I don't know how that sound is created, but yeah, I hear that when I go to locations. Thank goodness I don't hear it in this house.
Which is actually kind of surprising considering the neighborhood you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think the ones here communicate with mom because like she hears the cabinets and sees them opening and stuff, and I've never heard that. She hears walking in the kitchen, which I'm surprised she hears anything, but she does. And she's like, "Oh, I think so and so's in there." I said, "I'm pretty sure you're right, and you can deal with them because I'm not." Why does this keep doing this? It's making me touch his mouse, is what it's doing, and I don't want to.
Maybe just best to start getting one of those like kind of like cordless keyboards or mice, like very much like what I got right here.
Well, the funny thing is, when the comments are scrolling, it stays on the last comment that I saw, and then it's got a little blue arrow, and I have to click to see any more, and that's not okay.
I was having that problem too a couple of times. Once I scroll down to get to that last one, then it would start auto scrolling.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's up,
It's
Jen?
crazy. It's ridiculous.
yeah. I had to get me a new keyboard too. It was getting to the point where I'd be typing and I could type like 5 sentences and nothing shows up on the computer, and I I lost my temper with this thing. I started pounding down on the keys so hard that I actually broke this piece off
That
the
doesn't
the
help.
little kickstand.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
So okay, well I'll just push the other one in and type, and now instead of doing this, I'm like doing this, and no,
Oh
Not
God,
good
I got
for you.
that had to be frustrating.
yeah, but the keyboard had been doing that for months, and it was just progressively getting worse and worse and worse. And since I bought this one, there's only been a handful of times where it would have a small issue, but nothing anywhere close to what it had been.
Well, breaking it doesn't fix it. Okay.
No, but it did allow me to release a little bit of tension.
Oh, I bet.
I did that. I mean, I never necessarily did something. I done something similar like that, not to the point though that I broke something, but I've done that with my old laptop that I used to have, especially when it kept freezing like for no reason whatsoever. It was just I although the only difference was, and I still had this keyboard. I mean, I had this keyboard back then too. Instead, I'd be kind of pounding it like on the old keyboard, even though it didn't really do much. But at least I didn't break it though.
I just realized something. Okay. His computer went down. Y'all know that. He got it
Yep.
fixed. 1, 2, 3 screens, a keyboard, a keyboard.
Why does he have two keyboards?
I'm not sure what's going on here.
You don't really need a more than one keyboard. I mean, my dad, he years ago he had like multiple monitors for his computer too. Like he had, I mean, not even joking, he had like 5 of them, but we just had one keyboard for each one for all of them.
Does he have two towers?
I'm going to say so because I think there's one in this computer and one in this computer. They're built in.
Okay, okay, that'll make sense.
I can't keep up with more than 2 screens. No way.
Like I said, imagine what my dad used to have.
No.
I love having three screens. I've got this is my main one right here. Then I have a secondary over here for any runoffs or like when we're doing a show. I have you guys here, and then I will have like if I need to search something, I got it over here. And then I got my third one for if I absolutely need it.
And which one of your screens is causing you to freeze?
None of them.
Because you're frozen.
Uh-oh.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not freezing on my end.
Yeah,
Hang
you're
on.
not looking at the computer on our end.
Actually, wait, no, I could see you. No, he's moving on my side.
Not on mine. You are, but he's not.
I don't know what to tell you.
Uh, Anthony, what? Wait, what? Does ghost hunting make a person gain weight? Being touched by ghosts make you get no? What?
I don't think so. I've lost weight on ghost hunts, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you walk, but please tell me the thought behind that.
Yeah.
There might be something I'm not thinking of. What's your thought behind that?
I think based on what she was saying or what he was saying there is that when you do investigations, you're throwing your schedule completely out of whack for a couple of days.
Oh yeah, that happens, of course. Yeah. But all the walking you do if you're doing outside locations. Okay, then it's my now we're moving. Now we're good. I don't know. I must have screwed with something. Um
Well, you did touch something. So
I did. Um yeah, you're walking on big locations you're walking on any location really.
yeah, but when you're at locations, you have a tendency of bringing snacks with you, and usually those snacks are not healthy for you. A lot of people,
That's true.
yeah,
Yep.
and depending on the location, well, most from my experience, a lot of people like to order pizza.
I
Yep.
I like to order that very much, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so I can see it from that perspective. Um, I've never heard of being touched by a ghost causing you to gain weight.
I'm not. I'm trying to figure out how that could potentially happen. I
That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Unless somehow it triggers emotional eating.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I never would think of that's just something I've never heard of before.
Nick, do you have a nail sticking out of the wall
A
right above
nail
your head?
Above your head.
Right above your head.
right here?
Yeah.
No, that's that's actually where I have the stickers that I hang up the decorations like the bow tie that was there. It was being held up by those, and I keep those on after I'm done with the decorations because I'm going to be decorating again in a few weeks for Valentine's Day. Those are just
Because it
stickers on
keeps
the wall.
making me think I've got a spot on my screen, and I've been reaching over trying to clear it off.
No, that's just from my wall.
Ectoplasm weight gain. What? What?
Ectoplasm weight gain. Okay, this is all new stuff.
Yeah, it really is a whole different realm.
Yes, it is.
Um, I have seen what is allegedly pictures of people expelling ectoplasm. Of course, that was back in the 20s, 30s
Yep.
era.
1920s.
Yeah, none of them were big that I saw, but even that I don't believe would. I mean, if you have gas, I guess you bloat a little bit, but I don't think that's gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Uh,
I know if you have an attachment, a lot of times you will, depending on the type of attachment, their thoughts will enter your mind, and you can, I guess, maybe take on their thoughts if they were bigger. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Nick,
kind of
are you in under your account, or did you click on the link for the show?
Who?
Nick.
I just clicked on the link for the show.
Okay, so you don't have any of the capabilities.
No, unfortunately, I don't as of right now. I mean, of course, I could log in later.
Well, I was going to ask you if you could see on your end um, how the destinations things was looking like, because you know how before on all the other places when it would show the destinations that were live, it would show the actual profile picture of each of
Yeah.
the pages. Well, for whatever reason, the Supernatural Talk YouTube channel is only showing that share, like a share button to it instead of the actual logo.
Oh, that's weird.
It is. I don't know why. Let me take a quick picture of that.
So if anybody does any research on that weight gain thing with spirits, please let me know what you come up
Yeah,
with.
I'm gonna do some research on that myself at some point. Hey, Jacqueline.
Oh, hello.
I just I I don't know. We come up with new things all the time, so who knows? If that's the case, I quit. I quit ghost hunting. I'm done. Pickle dog.
Okay, let's talk about what's been going on these last couple of days.
Just one more thing before we get started. Now, for whatever reason, Jeremy, you're freezing on my end. Like all I see is Can you
The
see him,
screen. Yeah.
Adrian?
No, all I see is the screen.
Yeah, I see a screen now. I can see he's frozen from my end.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
What does everybody else see, guys? Do you see the screen or do you see Jeremy?
Yeah. Hey.
Pickle Tom's here.
I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know I always have to say it that way.
Ugh. Yeah, I know you do.
Hybrid baby never be allowed an attachment. Never allow an attachment. Yeah. Well, I don't exactly
Yeah,
allow
I'm
them,
seeing,
Don't
Sean
get
says screen.
frozen.
but yeah, you're still frozen on my end. Yep. Everybody sees the screen. Your phone screen.
He sees his phone screen. So yeah, it looks like you're frozen on everyone's end. Well, now
But
we
just
don't see anything at all.
you're not a person. You're a icon.
Robert said Jeremy's doing an Elsa. Okay, hold on. I'll take a screenshot. It just says. I mean, like it just shows like your as if your screen is off.
Yeah, it shows offline. Hi,
Yeah,
baby.
it even says offline. Yeah.
Hi, baby. Hi. Yeah, no licking. You can get your tongue out of here. I'm gonna pull it out. Hi. You want to come up here too? All right.
All
Hi.
right, Jeremy. Yeah, this is what we're seeing.
You stink. No. No. No.
No, he can't. Okay, so I said. Okay, now something's even. Things are getting stranger. I sent him a snapshot of what we're seeing, and now he just messaged me saying, "Hey, can you hear me?" No, now for whatever reason, now we're not hearing him.
Okay, so that fat attachment. That's what's going on here. And no, but we can see a circle move like he's talking.
Yeah,
but
it just
we
moved.
can't hear.
See, Nikki just said, didn't mean us humans who have the ability to stop and attach, and only meant that the ET baby with their abilities would never allow it, and many women don't realize they are ET hybrid pregnant.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that recently.
Heard of that too. All right, have a good night, Jacqueline. There you are. There's Jeremy now.
Okay.
Yep, now we can see you now.
You can see me now.
And
Yep,
we can hear you
you're moving. We can hear you. You're good now.
for a minute.
Yep.
What the hell?
I don't know what that was all about. That was just bizarre.
Because I took myself off stream and then brought it back, and then all of a sudden you couldn't hear me at all.
Yeah, like you were offline and the circle was moving, but we couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, it was like doing that pulsing, like when someone's talking.
Yep.
This is not good. Jacqueline told me no audio or video. Jacqueline, can you see me? Can everybody else in the audience see me?
Ooh, Robert just said there he is, so it's
Yeah,
obvious
they
he
can
can
see
see
you.
you.
So apparently, there's a lot I need to catch up on. So we have some things we're going to discuss, and apparently, fact checking on Facebook's gone.
Yeah. I don't know what the whole reasoning behind it. A lot of people have been commenting on it. The power admin group that I'm a part of had some 15-minute video that Zuckerberg was making this announcement. I ain't got time to watch him.
Okay, so now there's no fact checking.
There's no fact checking.
As far as
There is no fact checking, but there is something called community notes where I guess people could correct something. I'm not really sure.
they can correct all they want to, but from now on, I'm 25, gorgeous. I'm an alien. Whatever.
Okay, well, if we're going to go down that route, I am a best-selling published author of 10 novels. Uh, I am 190 pounds.
No, that's manifestation. That's not. That's manifesting what's going to happen.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's all news to me. I didn't hear anything about that at all.
Fact check
It
that shit.
just came out like 3 days ago, if that.
And today's day one of no fact checking. So
Well, the thing is, that the whole fact checking is all from AI algorithms, where most of the fact checking was wrong anyway.
there you go. I'm a Viking alien. That's right.
Oh, I like that one. I like that.
I think we're going to keep that.
Well, Thor, from
Viking.
Stargate, Thor, the Asgards, those are aliens.
Yep. But there was
I
some
am
movie.
still watching the show Vikings, and I am in love.
I thought there was some movie that was made so many years ago that didn't deal with like Viking aliens or something.
I don't know, but they killed my crush. They killed him in Vikings. I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
Or Viking alien.
I think I'd do pretty good as a Viking back then.
Yeah.
Shield Maiden? Hell yeah.
I was actually just thinking, I don't know if you guys remember this. This was like from 20 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember those funny commercials that had with Capital One had those Vikings. You guys remember those ones? They had like Vikings in them. These hilarious commercials. They're like, well, we come from a long. Sure, we had a good time pillaging, but with so many people switching to Capital One, we had to find new jobs. And they're like taking all these modern jobs, and they don't know how to handle them, so they do it everything like correctly. Like there was one guy who was like working at an office. He's like one of the Vikings. He tries working like a fax machine, a copy machine. It makes a beep sound. Then he takes like this giant mallet and just smashes it down onto the machine.
I get it.
Yeah, well, good part is I'm so glad for this website called Adland. You could find those commercials now on the website. I was so happy that somebody uploaded those after almost 20 years since they
Oh,
aired.
it,
They were
there's
hilarious.
a lot of commercials on YouTube, and I would go back and try to find the ones from the 80s and early 90s that I used to watch when I was a kid, because the commercials today just suck,
Yeah,
except
they do.
for except for the Aflac commercials and that insurance the one with Flo.
Oh,
Oh,
progressive.
yeah,
Progressive,
Progressive.
yeah.
Who
Tho-
watched commercials back then?
Wait a
Come on,
minute.
guys.
One more commercial. It's still good, and I'm glad to see they're starting to make a comeback. Let's be honest here. Jackling's beef jerky messing with Sasquatch.
Guys, come on. Who watched commercials back then?
I
Commercials
do.
were quickie breaks. That's all they're for.
Yep. I'm just gonna say this quick. I'm putting this together. I've been putting this together for several years now. Like I've been making this a video project. Again, growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, I watched like a lot of Cartoon Network back when that used to be good too. And like what I'm doing is I found so many old clips from that channel. It's kind of like I'm essentially rebuilding what the old net channel used to be like. And I'm even going far as adding the commercials from that era. And it's same thing. I look at those commercials that used to air back then. It's like, oh God, what the hell happened? That was when they were interesting to watch or fun to watch. It's now you just don't see anything like that.
It for me a lot lately. I have just been really going back into the nostalgia, just trying to remember what it was like back then, how it felt back then.
Well, that's what I'm doing with this video project. I'm trying to like get just the feel of it and the way how I'm kind of putting this channel together. Like what when I'm at to kind of give a little bit more better description. Yes, it's like I'm trying to rebuild what the old channel used to be like, but I'm not adding the shows or cartoons themselves because you could watch those anywhere, even on YouTube. It's the ads, television advertisements, even like simple like food or toy commercials and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's what I'm putting together. I'm putting all the rarities. All
I
Okay.
the
I remember all the Toys R Us commercials
yep.
that we had where the kids were singing "I'm a Toys R Us kid." Um,
Have Blockbuster one of them. I got Blockbuster commercials on this too. So and that's gone, of course.
there was
Okay.
also a McDonald's commercial that I really loved, where all these men were they were cleaning McDonald's. They were cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the floors and everything, getting the store ready to open, and they would all come marching out into like I want to say like a B as they came out of the store, and it oh,
McDonald's is 24 hours. Why would they be having the store
not
closed?
not in the 80s.
I thought it was.
That commercial I don't remember, but I was gonna say with the video project, I definitely have several of those commercials too. But yeah, I don't think I have that one. That sounds like you said back in the 80s.
Yeah. So Nikki asked a question. What are our view on extraterrestrials, UFOs, the drone situation? UFOs, absolutely believe they're
Yep.
around. I don't know how. I haven't studied that in depth. I don't even know if we can. But um, do I think they're walking among us, cloaked? No, but I do think they're around. The drones, I don't know because everybody can get their hands on drones these days. You can go to the dollar store and pick up a drone.
Here, I found it.
Yeah, the drones I'm still kind of more
And
accustomed to.
leave it to me to be the skeptical conspiracy theorist type person because I think it could be a distraction for something else. Something always happens as a distraction while something else is going on that you really should be paying attention to. So I don't know.
That does seem to be the thing. I found that commercial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going to play it. Damn the copyrights, I don't care. I'm actually going to play it. Okay, let's see here. By get this right.
Sean, that's not funny because I'm the one that can't back that trailer. I can load a horse. I can load any horse. Back in that trailer. Mm-mm.
Okay. Full screen. Okay. Here we go. This is actually from 1971. I didn't realize it was that old, or at
I was
least
going
that's
to
what.
say, when were those hats okay?
Grab a bucket and mop. Scrub the bottom and top. There is nothing so clean as my burger machine. With a broom and a brush, clean it up for the rush. Before you open the door, want to shine on the floor. When we finish one day, start all over again. Tell me what does it mean? And McDonald's is free. To McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's.
I have two questions. Uh, number one, who in the hell is that happy at work? I want to know.
Well,
And has that much energy. That means they ain't working.
remember, this is 1971. This is 50 years ago. This is during the time when people actually did enjoy going into work.
Yeah.
Number two, that leads to my second question. Why did they need to advertise that the store's clean? Shouldn't that be a given? You can walk in and see if it is or not. No.
I'm actually trying to. Since you showed one, I was actually trying to look for one of those Viking commercials.
But yeah, that was the commercial that I remember seeing when I was a kid, and we don't have commercials like that anymore.
No, you don't. Okay, I think I
Okay, so Nikki, I have a question for you. So, in your experience, are they just abducting and doing what I'm not going to say abducting, but doing what they do, or are they walking here among us? All right, so let's talk about these fires.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to get into.
Right.
I'm looking right now as the most recent count that I can find. 5 people are dead,
Yep.
and more than 180,000 people have had to evacuate.
Okay,
Yep.
I read 10 earlier when I was looking. Let me double check.
Yeah, well over 9,300 structures have been damaged or destroyed.
Did see that. Now, mind you, I've been working 10-hour days. I don't get to really keep up with any of this. Has this went clear into Bakersfield and all of those areas? I know.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's mostly from what I'm seeing here is the counties San Bernardino, L.A., Riverside, Ventura, Orange, and Yeah, about 5 different counties, but it doesn't say Though doesn't say anything about Bakersfield.
Bakersfield is way to the north.
That's
It's
kind of
about
the
an
dividing.
hour from San Francisco, and I know
Yeah,
San Francisco had a little bit.
it's basically the dividing line between Northern and Southern California.
Okay, thank you, Nikki. That's
Okay, having said that about Hollywood, so here's the one gripe that I have. It- as of right now, the Hollywood sign is has not caught fire, has not been destroyed or
oh,
anything
good.
like that.
Oh,
Yet
geez.
somebody has taken it upon themselves to create an IA picture of the Hollywood sign on fire and burning.
Oh no.
People need to go to hell. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what? There's has have you guys seen the story about? I'm sure you know the story about the lady who committed suicide there.
Yeah, there was an actress back in the 30s.
Yes,
I can't
yes.
remember her name, but yeah.
That's all I think of when I see the Hollywood sign or hear about the Hollywood sign.
It was even featured one time on
Yeah.
episode of Paranormal Witness where some high school like teenagers they broke. I mean, as of right now, you're not even supposed to be going up to the sign itself because it's illegal. So it had some high
Good
school.
luck getting there. I
Yeah.
was there.
Well, I don't know how these kids back then were able to get up and they wanted to touch the Hollywood sign. That was their goal, but they trespassed and they saw this mysterious figure, and that's when they heard about the actress that committed suicide. So even though it's off limits, her spirit has been sometimes seen around the Hollywood sign.
Well, the Hollywood sign is very iconic.
It
Um,
is.
Peg and
not,
Twistle, that
notwithstanding the whole story of the suicide and everything, the Hollywood sign is iconic. And what's unique about it is that when it was first put up there, it had nothing to do with the Hollywood studios. It wasn't even the Hollywood sign.
no, it wasn't. And when it was first built, it was kind of a little bit longer. It was Hollywood Land sign at
Yeah,
that time.
and it was there for real estate purposes.
Yep,
Um, it was a real estate company that put that sign up there.
Nikki, that was AI that
yeah.
the Hollywood sign
And
was on fire. Hey guys, side note, Chip Coffee is back home.
oh, good.
He is back home. He is walking with a cane, but he is getting stronger after 30 days in the hospital. He's doing good.
Glad to hear.
Oh
Yes.
And
wow!
also, the actress that committed that was Pagan Twistle. That was her name. She committed
Yes.
suicide, jumped off the H sign in September of 1932, and died at the age of 24.
And I can tell you why she's haunting that place. Before she did that, she didn't realize that she had just gotten the part she wanted.
That's
the
correct.
major part.
Yep.
And I can see why she would. Yeah, that would piss me off.
Yep.
No, Joshua, it's not. It was an AI picture. But, you know, I've seen landslides when I lived in California. Seen the landslides were and why do these multimillionaires put their homes on a damn cliff where it's going to go down in the water? I mean,
Yep.
why?
Like what happened a few years ago when there was that major landslide that occurred in California. And in fact, they interviewed somebody that lived on one of those mountainsides, and they had two celebrities that lived in that same area. They had Jeff Bridges and Oprah Winfrey
Yeah.
living in that same area. And I think they lost their homes too from this giant landslide.
It's like, why? Why would you do that? I would not put my home in a flood zone. I would not put, I mean, you live in Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri area.
Texas.
You're about to have tornadoes. There's no doubt. There's no tornado insurance. You're just screwed. Yeah, Texas too.
If you're in Florida, you got the hurricanes. Though.
Right. And I don't know if there's hurricane insurance. I've never dealt with that, but why? Why on purpose? Why?
A hurricane would be under the category of act of God.
Yes, but even the flood here that happened at our house, if you don't have flood insurance, which this is not flood zone, act of God or not, you ain't getting compensated. Ain't happening.
Yeah, we actually had to have flood insurance at the old house that we had down south of us. It was in a flood zone, didn't realize it. And it wasn't until after mom and dad had closed on the house and when they said, oh, yeah, you need to have flood insurance.
Yeah, it wasn't grandfathered in at that point. Yeah.
This
Oh,
was
Nikki, that is so
94
cool.
when they
That-
bought that house.
I didn't know that. That is so cool.
I was telling dad the other day that I would never want to live in Florida. He used to live in Florida, sorry, California. He used to live in California from 62 to 69. And he said back then they were having fires, but nothing as frequent as what they have been lately. And I told him it's not just the fires that I wouldn't want. The reason I wouldn't want to live there, but it's the earthquakes.
I'm gonna say, don't forget the earthquakes.
Okay,
It,
I never had that issue.
Those two can cause fires. You look at the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. It caused a huge fire for like 3 or 4 days in San Francisco afterwards.
But I'm
well,
going to
that's
tell you why
because
there's
when they
fires.
had the earthquake, is messing with the gas lines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But I'm going to tell you why there's fires now that there wasn't before. Before, you were allowed to log in those mountains. Before, you were allowed to go get firewood out of those mountains. That is now illegal. You can't log, you can't do any of that. So, all of that brush is laying there. You're not allowed to go do anything with it. So, when lightning strikes, it doesn't have to strike a tree. It's all that stuff is just laying there and you're not allowed to clean it up. And that's where our fires are coming from in places like that because we've been restricted.
right.
Yeah, yesterday, Dad and I were there was a really scary video. At first, it was on TikTok, and then it actually came on the news last night. It was a house these two guys were in. They had a little dog, and there was fire literally like 10 feet outside the house. And finally, they said, we can't do this anymore. We got to go. And I'm thinking, you guys should have gotten out of there hours
Yeah,
ago.
especially when everything becomes red.
It's
That's
hard
when you
to
start
leave your home. It's hard to leave everything you've ever, well, not maybe not everything you've ever known, but everything you own and try to figure out what it is you want to take, what's important to save. And as you're leaving, you're going, oh my God, I forgot this. I forgot that. I'm going to tell you a personal experience. We had a fire in the attic and we would have never known it except I was being stupid. I was in my 20s, had kids, had 5 kids. And I stood up on the bed and touched the ceiling. I was playing with my husband doing something, and I touched the ceiling and was jumping on the bed or doing something stupid. And it was hot.
Oh,
And I was like, something is wrong. This is hot. We didn't smell anything. We didn't see anything. And it was right above the fan. And I'm like, something is wrong here. It was wintertime, thing cold. And he's like, yeah, there is. He walked outside, smoke coming out of the roof. And I grabbed kids. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and it's freezing outside. Grabbed kids, threw them out the door, and put them in the car for a minute. Went and got got my dogs. Nothing else. And then realized, firefighter, when it was all said and done, it stayed up on the roof. It damaged all the furniture and stuff from the creosote smell. But he comes out with my bird. I forgot my bird in there. Bird was alive.
really?
You forget so many things when it comes
Yeah,
to
you do.
having to hurry. And then when you're outside, you're going, what could I have gotten? What did I forget? Too late. It doesn't matter at that point.
It's hard to think logically when you have to get out of there in a minute.
Yep. And then my fish tank froze because, obviously electricity was off and we were in a motel and my fish were still alive with an inch of ice on the top.
Wow.
I don't know how.
Ice.
Ice.
How did the ice form?
It was freezing and we had to turn everything off because the electricity had to be off, the gas had to be off, everything once the firefighters come in. And we were in
Jeez.
the motel. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not hauling a fish tank to the motel, but they all survived.
Wow.
Goldfish are
Crazy.
amazing creatures.
Yeah.
Well, just like that ice that formed in your little pond there in the backyard
Yeah, of course. I
when
remember
when you lost all of that fish.
I'm afraid now the fish in the backyard are probably frozen solid at this point.
Yeah.
Don't they usually hibernate during this time?
Yeah, their bodies start shutting down. Ours do too, but their bodies start shutting down and everything gets slower and slower. And if you feed them, I found out if you feed the koi fish or goldfish that you have in your pond out in the yard, if it's under 55 degrees and you feed them, you can kill them because their body will not work to digest. It's in hibernation mode. They'll still eat it, but it doesn't work that way. Oh my gosh, Joshua. That's awful. Do you think shifting of poles or of planet cause of fires? I personally, just personal opinion, I don't think so.
I
think
don't.
it's all these damn regulations they have on us now. We used to be able to go on the land, hunt, fish. Now we have to pay for all that. You used to be able to go cut down some wood, cut your own Christmas tree, things like that. You cannot do that now. That is protected property. If a tree falls, it lays there till it rots. Well, enough of that happens. You have the perfect storm for a wildfire.
And plus, and Dad and I almost got into an argument about this yesterday.
Oh no!
Well, he's older, so
Oh, I get it. I got two of them.
he they they had this whole thing about the fire on TV, and Dad was like, "I know what caused that fire. What do you think it is? God caused that fire." No, it was probably just some dumbass who flicked a cigarette somewhere.
Yep.
Or
See,
like
that's,
That's what happened on the last major fire.
yeah,
Somebody
that's
flicked a cigarette.
well,
or
and
strike.
even though they're still investigating of what exactly caused it, I know one thing for sure was definitely not. I was going to say it definitely was not caused by lightning.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
They haven't even had any storms or what's known as dry lightning. They haven't had that for quite a long time, so they already know lightning had anything to do with it.
Well, I mean, here's my thing. If they would allow people to go in and cut their own firewood, you don't go and cut thousands of trees and go sell it, but cut your own firewood. Be able to clean up the areas. It couldn't jump like it does. It would have to stop at some point. I understand keeping the trees. I do. I mean, we need the trees or we're going to die. There's not going to be air. I get it.
Well,
But
what they need to do is every so often is plow out like a 50-foot path all the way down there so that the fire can stop in one spot and not jump.
with
That's
the
what they
winds,
do.
a 50-foot, I don't think would even stop it with the winds the way they were.
100 feet.
Nikki, um, yeah, I'm kind of big on stuff like that too. I'm one of those that I spoke to a doctor a while back. Watch us get in trouble for medical misinformation. Whatever. Um, I spoke to a doctor a while back that had a big issue with, he says, these people, the pharmaceuticals, the doctors, the hospitals, all of them, they're not in business of getting you better completely. They're in business of keeping you sick, just sick enough where you need all these meds. And I believe they're right.
Well, we already know that.
A lot of people do not believe that. They're like, no, no, no. Oh, yeah? Get off all the meds you got. You're going to have withdrawals, or you're going to. Most people aren't going to get off those meds because they think that's what they need to survive, and they really don't. There's so
Right.
many natural things that you can use.
Speaking of which, I haven't heard anything lately about the killing of that CEO guy. I have not heard anything.
Nothing else.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything for the last week.
Oh, it's been longer than that since I've heard anything, but that's not new.
Yeah.
Used to be brush burning. Yes. Grades higher, much more. Yeah. Yeah. The government is not working for us. I promise you.
Well, they're not.
It is all working against us. And oh, speaking of our wonderful government,
Uh-oh.
no longer the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to be the Gulf of America. Grow
Seriously?
up.
Whoa. Wait.
I don't
That's
see that happening.
Trump is renaming it.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it has to go through some sort of body. He can't just say, okay, this is going to be Gulf of America. It has to be officially changed, and I'm not sure what all it has to go through.
Yeah, not enough, because everybody is kissing his little orange ass.
Yep.
Not enough.
He is saying a lot of weird things lately. He wants to name Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America.
He's making enemies.
Guys, do that. He's trying to. Did you guys also hear that?
Son did?
He also wants all of Canada to become one state.
So we can take it. So
Well, if that's not enough too, he's also trying to buy Greenland again, which Denmark has said. Yeah, like he's trying to buy Greenland again, which Denmark has said, nope, you are not getting this. It's not up for sale.
What do you mean again? Somebody has tried to get it before?
Yeah, he did it last time.
I don't remember hearing about that.
No, he did a couple years back. He did.
Okay, and then also he wants to take the Panama Canal back.
That's not even ours.
No, but it was.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was, and I was talking to Dad about this just a couple hours ago, because Jimmy Carter was the one that did this whole thing where Panama Canal goes back to Panama, and a lot of the country did not like that because one, we're the ones that built it.
Yep.
Or at least a majority of it.
Right.
Looks like Adrian has to excuse herself for a moment. So I don't know what he's looking to do here. There are a lot more important things that need to be done than trying to get Greenland, trying to get Canada. A lot more important things that need to be done besides that.
As far as I'm concerned with Canada, and I've even spoken with Matt Grant about it, like, yes, it is true, like, and this was long before he even entered office, that the United States has approached Canada of like wanting to merge the two into one, but Canada, their government have said, no, we're not going to do it that way. We like the way how we handle things here. We'll always be neighbors. Don't get us wrong, but we're never going to become one. So that's that's basically their response. And also in the case with Denmark, well, yeah, with Greenland, which, yeah, it's true. It is owned by Denmark. The only other country that's ever owned Denmark was prior to them was Norway. But Norway was originally trying to sell Greenland to one of the other Scandinavian countries, and Denmark proudly stepped in. So, as far as I'm concerned, Greenland will always remain Danish property to Denmark.
Instead of trying to get other territories, let's worry about the ones that we do have now.
That's
Yeah,
not going to
well,
happen. Simply because this asshole sent his son to Iceland, I believe Iceland, to let them know. Now, mind you, he is in a picture dressed like a damn Viking, like he's on the movie.
Jeez. Back to the Vikings.
But he went there to let Iceland know that if they don't become part of, whatever it was his agenda was, then we're going to attack them. Okay. We're making enemies we don't need. Number one, we don't need enemies. Number two, when did he become God?
Yeah, really.
Because this is a mess. But he's saying things that he cannot do.
In
And
the case of Canada and Greenland, that is not going to happen.
no, in Canada, the reason he's wanting to do that with Canada is because was it Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah.
Was the last president that was able to bring in, it was the colonies that, so
13 colonies, yeah.
So he's wanting to be able to add something to the United States so he can go down in history. That's his only concern, going down in history. Well, he is. He's going down in history as the craziest son of a bitch that ever lived.
My mom has always been kind of telling me that, not necessarily.
Greenland. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
My mom told me this a while back, but the fact that also certain political parties are supporting them, this might also mark the end of their basic demise at this point. They're definitely going to be losing power. And not only that, there's even some who are already against with what he's trying to do.
Well, but let's think about this. If Zach said this morning and it made sense. If Canada were to become one state and then become a part of us, is there ever going to be another Republican president ever voted in if Canada has a vote?
Right.
Not
well,
going
and it's not only just Canada. I mean, obviously he's not going to go for this otherwise, but
Shut-
just think about it. If you look back,
Joshua, what in the holy hell?
think about this too. If you look past over well, think about this too. If you look over almost 180 years ago, I mean, there have been talks like that, like years prior about Canada joining the U.S. Well, if you look back 180 years ago, that was almost the same thing too with Mexico at one point. Mexico was even offered at one point to be part of the United States, especially after the Mexican-American War. So there was even talks of bringing Mexico in originally.
The state that Mexico is in right now, especially with the drug wars and the cartels that they got, I wouldn't want them to be a part of this union because we got enough troubles as it is now. I wouldn't want them to be bringing their stuff. Well, they're already bringing their stuff.
It is here. It is so much.
Well, and the difference was, too, I mean, like I said, this was back in the 1840s. So, obviously, different time, different era. They didn't have all that. So, that's why they were originally considering Mexico to become part of the United States back then.
Josh, I am MAGA. Mother and grandmother again. That's.
Yeah,
I don't know where you got that shit, dude, but holy shit.
Yeah, God help us, Josh. You're absolutely right. Well, and think about this too. We still even have the fact that he's also trying to buy Canada and Greenland, I'm thinking, well, I'm really surprised he hasn't bought the other U.S. territories in this case, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, and Northern Mariana Islands. Like, I'm surprised those haven't become states yet themselves.
Well, and we did get, a while back we got, was it Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
It
Puerto
was
Rico.
us. You know, that's great.
But here's the thing: even though it is an American territory, they have consistently voted not to become part of the union.
Well,
Right.
sure, especially now. Yeah.
Yeah, they well, I don't know how long they have been voting on this, but they keep voting no, we do not want to become a state, but yet somehow they still ended up being an American territory,
Right.
which is just one step away from being a state, and I don't know what the difference is for them on a from a government standpoint is, but they're still part of the United States without actually being a state.
I
Well,
think
it's the
they
same for
get
the
to
other four
vote,
territories too.
don't they? Don't they get to vote?
Yeah, they are allowed to vote because when they had the what was it,
Not, they don't have an electoral vote. I
no,
don't.
they don't. But what was it they had? They had the Democratic and Republican conventions. They had like different. You
What
probably
is
seen they had like different areas for like
Right.
representing the state everybody was from or they were supposed to sit. Well, they still included the 5 territories
very
in
good?
that same in that audience also. So apparently, the 5 territories were still allowed to vote for presidency.
Yeah, and now I've been to Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, all of that, and those people are so nice.
I've
They are
heard.
so nice when they're there. I mean, it's I was really glad, and I was a kid when that happened, but and I don't know the logistics of what they can and can't do and how this works, but yeah, I was a teenager when that happened. Holy shit! Wow,
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
it's been quite a few minutes. Yeah, we're not going to discuss that.
So Puerto Rico, for example, as far as the United States Congress goes, this is just what I'm looking up on Wikipedia and trying to make sense of all this nonsense. Is that they have a resident commissioner in the U.S. Congress. Now, I don't know if this person actually comes to Washington, D.C. to do whatever. I don't know. Um, eh, Actually, to be honest, I don't know if they have any representation at all.
Oh yeah,
What?
they do. They do. They do have some representation here. Um, so headlines: Trump won't rule out military action to take control of Greenland. Greenland
Oh my
as son
God!
visits.
Again,
So okay,
Weird.
let's talk about this. Why does he want Greenland? Is there something about Greenland that has to do with the oil reserves?
I know he
it's
wants a Panama Canal.
well,
He
it's
wants
not.
the
It doesn't
Panama
even make.
Canal, and he also wants Canada because of oil. So is that why he's eyeing Greenland as well because of oil?
It's very sparsely. I don't know why. It's not even that heavily populated out in Greenland. So like, it's still kind of an
And his
Arctic area.
mind is not, the way his mind works is what can I gain? It has nothing to do with the country. What can I gain? What popularity can I gain? What what can fill my pockets right now? That's the only. I mean, if you listen to him talk, I don't know. I don't understand how anybody. I I just don't. But to me, he's a womanizer. He hates the military. What more do you want? I mean, this is America. I don't get it.
And
But
in these 2 countries, that is in countries north, that is Canada and Greenland.
all I
When
can say
when you
is,
look at the map, when you look at the map, it
it,
looks like that Greenland should belong to North America as far as a continent goes.
It is still designated as being part of North America.
yeah,
Well, with it being belonging to Denmark, it belongs to Europe.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other
If,
thing they
if
would have.
anything, it should look more like Greenland should belong more to Canada, if anything, because they're the closest one.
Well, here's what we need to do. We all know this shit show is about to happen. And we all know it's not going to go in the direction we think it's going to. So we all need to learn to fish, Nick. We all need to learn to hunt, Nick.
I know. Okay, I know how to fish, but the hunting, yes.
Okay, so if you can eat fish the rest of your life, great. We need to learn to fish, to hunt, to have our own animals. Because this next 4 years is going to be rough. Actually, the next probably 6 to 7 years is going to be rough because it takes a little bit for the new president to be able to enact things. So it's going to be rough. It is going to get rough.
Depend on who that next president is. A
Yeah.
lot
That's
of people are already saying that it's going to be J.D. Vance. They're already saying it is going to be him, but who knows? After these 4 years, he may decide not to run for president.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too that should also be most important, because if he thinks he's God, he's absolutely insane, because nobody is high and above. Once I tell you what I'm about to say, when you looked at Biden when he decided to step down, it was because of his health, his age. How do we not know in this case Trump is even going to still be
He did not
alive?
decide to step down. It was a coup.
Yeah.
That decision was made for him.
Yeah,
And
well-
I firmly believe that Nancy Pelosi said something to him to force him to denounce his candidacy or his campaign.
You mean presidency?
don't kill people. Well, Anthony, that's the idea that we don't kill people, but you know, there's a saying that you are a lot like the people you're around. You end up taking on their characteristics, so you're careful of who your friends are.
And Josh just made it.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead.
It's the same with your president constantly in your ear. I don't turn on the news. I don't give two shits.
We don't watch the news anymore either.
Yeah,
We're
I
done.
don't give two shits about what he's got to say. I'm not going to listen to him. The speeches. I will listen to what's been enacted and what's going on. But I'm hoping it doesn't come down to killing people. But
Yep.
the point is,
Are you familiar with the episode of the Twilight Zone called "The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street"?
no.
Nick?
Maybe it's been a long time.
Okay. Anybody out there in the audience, let me know if you're familiar with it. To me, it's one of my favorite episodes of Twilight Zone. What it is that, okay, it's 1950s. You got this picture perfect neighborhood. Then all of a sudden, the electricity goes out. The electricity goes out. People are wondering, well, hey, what's going on? This, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, the lights come on in one house only, and people start wondering, well, how do you have power? And next thing you know, the accusations start coming in that this person is orchestrating. Well, you guys don't have power, but I do. And then all of a sudden, the power switches over to somebody else. Next thing you know, all of these neighbors who are good friends, they work together, they help each other out, they are now at each other's throats. And this thing was an experiment by aliens up on the hill, doing these little things to the neighborhood to see how they react. And that is exactly what is going to happen once electricity starts becoming scarce, once the food supply starts becoming scarce. People are going to be at each other's throats.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Country folks will survive. There's a song, I promise you, it's the truth. I can go out and hunt I can go out and fish. I have no problem gutting, skinning a deer, skinning a cow. It don't matter. I will survive. I can promise you that. Anybody with me will survive because we're going to eat. As long as there's animals on this earth, we're going to eat. There's not a one I can't cook, including possum.
Just one other thing too I wanted to say is what Josh said. I didn't realize he's right about this when this goes back to Greenland. So yeah, it's been what the hell was that?
Nikki,
Oh yeah,
right?
it's been under Denmark since the 1600s. So yeah, he's not going to get that. Like I said, prior before Denmark had it, it was Norway.
Yeah, Nikki, you're absolutely right because I have heard so many stories of people coming forward on their deathbeds because they knew what would happen if they did it before, especially military and anybody before now, before there's actually evidence. People were made to feel stupid or crazy. The whole neighborhood, the whole town would be like, that's that crazy person that thinks that. Well, now that it's a little more upfront and the files have been opened from the government, certain files, I'm sure many have not because the government hides absolutely everything. But yeah, I absolutely believe you're right. It's going to turn out not very good. And people are going to, just like military that call their wives and say something, are going to turn up gone.
I was also thinking about that one time too, a few years back, where he said some. I still remember too when he said some pretty bad things about our veterans. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys remember that from a few years ago. He said some like really offensive stuff, I think saying like our military was useless. I don't remember exactly what it was. I just remember how infuriated I was when I heard that. I mean, that just infuriated me, not just as a person who's been against him since day one, but as a relative of those who served in America's only losing war.
Right. I mean, let's think about this. You're 17 years old, almost 18. You're looking at your future, and you have a path here. You have a fork in the road. You can either navigate being in debt the rest of your life, and I can promise you it is the rest of your life, for going to school. Or you can join the military where they pay for your school after you've done your service. Or, all these benefits that you have as being a military person. And everybody hates you, just like they did, way back when people came back from Vietnam and were so hated and spit on when they expected, hey, I fought for the country and I'm coming back home. They expected a parade, which is what should have happened. There was a parade, but they were spit on. They were, it was terrible because
Like
the news came back that they killed, children, women. They had to. There was not a choice. It was an order. So, and then when your own president is downing you and saying the military are incompetent, and I can't think of his name right now, forgive me, but he was
Well, back then it was Johnson that wanted to send the people over, and then when Johnson left, it was Nixon.
right.
And then after Nixon, it was Ford.
yep.
And when Trump was talking not long ago, he was speaking, and one of our military POWs was there, and I can't think of his name, but he was there, and his hand did not work anymore because of the injuries he had from being a POW. And he said, raise your hands, and he goes, of course this dumbass can't raise his hand, something to that effect. That man could not raise his hand, physically could not. because it was paralyzed.
Right.
And he made fun of him.
That's
He
just
made
that's
fun of
awful.
a challenged person in the front row doing this to him. I'm sorry. That is not a human being. That
Yeah.
there's no way, shape, or form that's a human.
Not to mention not only the injuries that they sustained, you know, like in this case, like let's say from Vietnam, but if you look, it's like they've seen some truly horrible things while they were at war, things that nobody should ever see.
That's
In
right.
fact,
Yeah.
I was just, this sounds unrelated, but I just recently learned this. I mean, you look at something in this case with World War II. What was his name? He was a well-known actor. I can't believe I can't remember his name, but
Autry?
what's that?
Gene Autry?
No, actually no. I just looked it up. James Stewart. You look. I just watched. Obviously, you know, when it was Christmas, we watched "It's a Wonderful Life." That's a family tradition we always do. And there's that scene in that movie where he's at the bar after he kind of broke down in front of his, like, just kind of fell apart in front of his family. You see him crying. Basically, that was him crying for real, and that was due to the fact that he had just returned home from World War II. Same thing with him. He may have not suffered injuries, but you could see that his eyes are just like, you could see he saw true horror while he was fighting during World War II. He probably killed, you know, he probably killed some. He knew he killed other people's kids.
You do what you're told. That's
he
the thing.
he saw his friends getting killed. So you can see that he witnessed some horrible things, and even when he was still getting back into his movie career, he still was suffering a huge effect from the war.
Sure. I mean, let's think about it. You've got you're a child, and some of them went to fight the war under a guise that they were older than they really are. So we had 16, 17-year-olds, and probably younger, going in because nothing was checked. They go in. You make family with whoever you're with because that's who you're counting on to save your butt. And then you are told by your superiors that you have to go and kill, this family that's in this house because you need this house for whatever it might be, your lodging, your whatever. And when you do that, you see half of your battalion or crew raping the women that are there.
Yep.
Maybe you don't join in, but your superior says you have to. Because if you don't, you're going to tell. And then, the next day you have to go out and combat. And you have to, if anybody knows what this is, I'm not going to explain it because it's just way too. The Colombian necktie.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
What that is.
You have to do that. Can you imagine having to come back home to civilization where you don't hurt people, you don't, you're not told you have to kill people. And your country has heard all the things that you've done through journalism. They hate you. I mean, how do you readjust? How do you cope after that? I just don't know.
Didn't.
Right. And that's why we do the 22-hour podcast, because they didn't and they still don't. Because now it's not so many bad things happen here now.
Yep.
That it's not so widely said or it's not such a shock. But to the people going out there that have never done things like this or never seen things like this, it is a shock. And can you imagine having to do that to another human?
I've talked about this before, and obviously I told you guys about it last year.
Oh, dear.
I think what really opened my eyes to kind of that certain type of degree was undoubtedly when I saw Saving Private Ryan last year for the very first time, and just imagining what truly happened on the D-Day and the results, the wars that followed afterwards during World War II, and just seeing how much it had an effect on, in this case, Private Ryan at an older age. Like it was not he lost a lot of his friends, he lost buddies, but he also saw some truly horrible things at the same time. Also,
Right. Right. Nikki, gosh, I don't want to speculate, but if your cousin's still alive, please just thank him for the rest of us. We do a 22-hour podcast where my husband sits up 22 hours. Believe me, I have to put up with it the next day. But um, the reason he does a 22-hour podcast is because at one point there was 22, let me get this straight, 22 veterans that died per hour, I think, or per day.
I thought it was per day.
It might be per day.
Yeah, it was 22 suicides a day.
There
Which,
is so much more now.
yeah,
It's more than doubled. And so he sits for 22 hours and gives lifelines and stories, and a whole bunch of people participate, including our paranormal crew. Yeah,
it just seems
right,
like we got something of a sign up now for people wanting to do shows to help.
yeah.
Hi, Chantel. For people wanting to do shows to help back
hey
out.
Chantel,
Yeah, he does 22 hours. And the last time he did this, I don't know if I'm proud of him or if I want to kill him, but our son was down from Oklahoma, and he's hardly ever here, ever. He's been here twice, and he was doing the 22-hour podcast while he was here. He is dedicated to what he does. Absolutely. I will give him that, although there's times I want to kill him. But a lot of our paranormal, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 that do shows. So that gives him a break as well. He can't take a nap during those breaks or we'll never wake up. But yeah, he died. His children had a tough time with him not talking. I understand that because I want to hear the stories.
Well, let's go ahead and let's do a 2-hour supernatural talk on that Saturday and have Nikki come on and tell the stories if she's willing to.
yeah.
She was saying that he didn't talk. Nikki, are you willing to come on and talk about, how he was and how he was different?
Oh, Eileen, just
Make your wedding,
sure.
Joshua. I'm still mad at you for that. You know what? Actually, it was really cool because I had a lot of our paranormal crew at our wedding. It was amazing. Jennifer Lee actually.
I watched it live because I had an event going on.
So did I. I was watching it live too.
Yeah.
And I'm actually supposed to go to another paranormal investigator's wedding in May. Mike Ricksecker, he's getting married, and Tom.
Wait. What was live?
Your wedding.
It was.
Yeah, your wedding was live.
I didn't know that. Who did it?
Don't look at us. I don't know who filmed it.
Did it, but somebody your wedding live. It was on your page. It was on your profile.
Yeah, it was on your profile.
I don't know who had my phone at that point because I sure didn't.
You said you were going to go live. You said it was going to be live.
I remember that too.
I still don't know who did it because it damn sure wasn't me.
Well, no, you had to be on screen, but somebody was doing it.
My daughter-in-law may have.
Yeah.
I did
I
too
don't
live. Yeah, Josh said he saw it.
Yeah. Your wedding was live. I remember sitting in the hotel room watching it.
Well, okay, Joshua, I'll forgive you then because then you were kind of there. That must have been my daughter-in-law. But we had so many different cultures and beliefs in our wedding. We I get
Well,
to a
what
point
I
where
really liked was when Jennifer bounded you and Zach,
I
tied you
remember
guys
that.
together, and then she struggled to get that off of you.
yeah, that still hangs in our bedroom, along with the bouquet. But yeah, that was the pagan hand binding.
Yeah.
We had the Japanese, a little bit of Japanese in there with our son because he's the one that did the officiating of the wedding, which, disclaimer, in Colorado, you don't have to be ordained or anything else. Your neighbor a homeless guy can walk up and, okay, I pronounce you man and wife, you're done. And that's it. As long as you have a witness, you're good. So I was really thankful we got to have our son be a part of it. And then we had, I guess, the ring part is kind of I'm not even sure if that's a Christian thing. But we had a lot of different cultures in our wedding. I can talk, but I didn't know him really well. That's okay, Nikki. That's okay. That's what we need is all different perspectives of, how people perceived people that came back. Um, we actually last year, and it was really hard to watch. I don't think I could have interviewed him. It was hard to watch. We had one lady come on where her best friend had committed suicide. And, being somebody's best friend, you would think you'd know that they are in that much danger, that they are that far gone, but you don't. People can act, and they do. It's a well-known fact that people that are going to commit suicide don't say a word. They are the happiest people in the world on the outside. The ones that they say, the ones that talk about, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself, whatever. I don't care if people say that, that they're the ones that won't do it. Take it serious because everybody's personality is different. And I don't care if they're out there saying, I'm done. I have a friend on my Facebook that's constantly, I don't know if I'll make it to tomorrow. I don't care if you're tired of seeing it. Say something encouraging. It could make a difference. I had a call today at work, and it was probably one of the toughest calls I've ever taken. She was wanting to know about her benefits, whatever. And she told me she wouldn't be back at work for another
Excuse me.
if her doctor if the work would extend the doctor's recommendation of her being out another 2 weeks. She lost her husband on Thanksgiving. He died on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yes, they knew he was going to pass. He had a brain tumor. I don't care if you know the exact moment, date, and time that somebody's going to pass. It's not easier. It's just not.
You're just not prepared for it, even though you think you are when it actually happens. You
Yep.
are.
Yeah.
It happens when you very least expect it. That's for sure.
And
Nikki, I am going to send you a friend request so that we can keep in contact. Just mark it down on your calendar. Just mark it down on your calendar. It'll be Saturday, February 22nd.
Yeah, send me one too.
Yes,
Send me a
I'll
friend
send on
request.
one too. I'll take
Um,
friend request.
but the thing is, you're in job mode. You're to tell them their benefits and the policy, and then they come up with, I'm coming back to work such and such a day because my husband died. You change modes. You immediately change modes. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm sorry. And they start telling you every single detail of the moment they died. And you're supposed to be in job mode. And you're going, oh my gosh. So at that point, you become friend mode. And whatever else you need to be, because they obviously need a friend to talk to.
Yeah.
They don't need some robot on the other end of that phone. They need a friend. They need someone. She said, I've been with him 42 years. And I'm like, I can't imagine what you're going through right now. And yeah, I mean, suicide and death, I don't care how they die, is an awful, that's something you don't get over. You
No,
just
you don't.
So, like you with your grandpa, you always, yearly, you post pictures of him, you keep him alive. Jeremy, your mom, you post pictures of her, you keep her alive.
Yep. I'll be doing it. Oh man,
I know, soon.
her anniversary is the day before um her the day that she died was February 21st.
I know it was
Well,
soon.
and
Yeah.
then strangely enough, my grandfather passed away. He passed away 2 days after my birthday, February 26th.
Yeah. So see, we still do things to keep them alive.
Yeah.
That means they're not gone, and those memories do not go away. Neither does the sadness. I mean, it may lessen, but it doesn't go away. It just doesn't.
Right.
It's just like with my friend Sean Taylor. I had bowled with him for 20 years,
I yes, I
and,
remember that.
and he committed suicide. You'd never guess there was anything wrong with him. Um, and he posted on Facebook. I'm sorry, he
Mhm.
posted that on Facebook less than 5 minutes before he did it.
Yeah, and,
Um,
and he meant to do it. He meant there was no stopping him. He didn't want anybody to stop him. He was just saying, for everybody out there, it's not your fault.
right.
That's all he was doing, and that's why people say if they're going to do it, they're not going to say anything. I don't believe that. I think sometimes they reach out for help. They reach out for help, saying they're going to do it, and not really meaning to do it, but looking for the help. And when they don't get it, and they get backlash of saying, you need to stop saying things like that, then they do it. And any way you look at it, whether they say something or whether they don't, it is not okay. We need to be there for people
Right.
any way we
Yeah.
can. Sometimes we can't help, no matter what. They're not going to tell us. There's nothing we can do. But the ones that do say something, I don't care if it's annoying to you. At least acknowledge what they're saying and say, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. Joshua, yes, I was a CNA as well. The reason I had to quit being a CNA is because I would clock out and stay there with a actively dying person until they passed because no family was there. And sometimes I'd stay with the family because they needed someone. I got way too invested and I couldn't live a life outside of there. So, yeah, bless you for being able to do it.
Nikki, we don't know what time it will be that day. We're going to have to work on scheduling with Zach and figure out when the best time for us to do an episode. But it'll be on that day. We know that for sure. We just don't know what time yet.
If all else fails, what he's looking for more than anything else is filling in like the nighttime hours where nobody else is awake. If all else fails, what we can do is record an episode and he can play it anytime he needs to.
That we can. He actually did that with Nick last year.
Right. Right.
So
So we can do that any way you need to. It's not that big of a deal. I think that's his next thing he's working on. He's been working on so many damn things that I can't even keep up anymore. My job in this whole thing is we do an outreach program where people can come get things that are donated to us, such as clothes, furniture. That's my job. Um, so the rest of it, I have to consult with him. But my brother died on his 48th birthday. My father died on my father died on my first. My aunt died on her father's death day. So many death dates coincide in my family. It's bizarre.
you know what, Josh? My
Wow.
family actually has something similar to that. As most people know, my dad's uncle passed away a couple of weeks ago. He died on December 23rd. My dad's uncle. He was a he was one out of a family of I think 11. 10 boys, one girl. My dad's dad died on December 22nd.
Ugh.
Wow.
Their mother, my dad's grandmother, died December 25th,
Oh my God! On
which
Christmas
is
Day.
the same day that my dad's dad was buried.
Ah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then, of course, I almost joined him when I had that incident at work on December 16th.
Right.
Granted, not, with days of Christmas, but still in that general neighborhood. So the
Yeah.
week of Christmas technically is not the best for the York family.
Yeah, I'm hoping, none of us in our family die anywhere close to a holiday because that ruins a holiday for everyone.
It does.
And that's not a legacy I ever want to leave. That's that's not okay. My dad, my adopted dad, died on Valentine's Day after he sent my mom flowers. He called in, had them sent, and that he was found, obviously long gone. But um that's yeah, I can't imagine. No, I don't want to ruin that for anyone. Yeah, see, Nikki, you can't even enjoy Mother's Day. That's not something mm-mm, that's not a legacy I want to leave. Not that we have a choice, but
Right.
unless, of course, you do it yourself, then.
No.
But yeah, that it's a neat little thing where, and there's times during that where people donate things like that, and all the proceeds go to veteran families, things like that. We do that all year, but this is just the big, long 22-hour podcast where I want to kill him the next day. And yeah,
This is basically Zach's Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's kind of how I've seen it.
kind of a really weird way of putting it, but that's basically what it is.
Yeah. So, Nikki, just a little background since you don't know us. My husband was in a motorcycle accident 10 years ago, and he has a traumatic brain. I think I do. Traumatic brain injury. And so that causes migraines 24/7. He lives with a migraine 24/7. He's on lots of medication trying to make it better. It does make it better to a point, but it's still migraine status. This man would work 22 hours a day if I would allow it. He did before I came along. I don't allow it. He does take weekends off. He doesn't answer his phone. It's not going to happen unless there's an emergency situation where a mother, domestic violence issue, a mother is requesting help, whatever. And then it comes to me and I deal with it. But no, he is very invested in what he does. He has a one-track mind. But these migraines, after he's up so long, and mind you, this man is in bed at 9 every night. 9 o'clock, done. We're done. There's no questions. We are done. So, yeah, before I came along, he used to sleep when he needed to and was up working constantly. This 22-hour thing, it for the next 4 or 5 days is very rough for everybody around. But it's really worth it. He does lots of different things like this, and it's fun. It's fun for, well, most of us. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a neat little deal that the paranormal gets involved as well.
Yeah, it really is. Because I think it touches on something that all of us can relate to on some level. Uh, and it really helps that some of our show hosts are veterans themselves.
Hey, babe. When are you going to have a schedule out for signups?
I'm going to start scheduling it on Monday.
Monday?
And not only
I'm going to start scheduling it on Monday.
Okay, well, Nikki is kind of new to us, and she has she has a family that can talk about military. So either we can record it or we can go live during our showtime.
Yeah.
Either way, just let us know what we need to do.
Sounds good.
one
I'll
other thing.
share, Jeremy, I'll share the link with you to share out to everybody if they want to get involved.
Okay.
All right.
Jeremy, another thing to point out, too, not only do we have people who are former veterans themselves, but of course, to keep with the kind of international theme, if you will, is we got veterans in this case who served, in this case, in other countries besides just the United States in their respective countries. So it's nice.
Yeah, we involve all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine what the Vietnamese faced?
Yeah.
I know what we faced, but there was another side to that. And it was just bad.
That's basically the same thing too. Like again, like if you look at something like with World War II, when they had the 80th anniversary ceremony last year at Omaha Beach, they had they had all the flags of all those who were in the Allies, who all fought.
Right.
And we're not just talking they mostly focus on, United States, Canada, France, and UK. Well, there was actually several more countries that were involved more than everybody thinks. There was at least about a good dozen other countries that fought with us. So they had all the flags of these different countries to honor those and to the survivors. But they even still even added a German flag to the row. Not obviously not the Nazi flag, just the normal German flag, because you still have to wonder what a lot of the surviving German soldiers went through themselves. It was obviously, even though they were the enemy back then, it was still an act of respect. And a lot of people will tell you nowadays, you look at something like World War II from the German side, a lot of these guys who were pretty much no different than the Allies were, they thought they were fighting for their country. They were not doing this for Nazi Germany. They weren't doing this for the Third Reich. They weren't even doing this for Adolf Hitler. They were doing it because they thought they were fighting to protect and serve their country. They were no different than us.
Right. Right.
Because even after everything that's occurred in Germany and other parts of Europe, for many of these guys who especially were unaware of what was happening, this was still home to them nonetheless. And they were going to fight to protect it.
Mm-hmm. Joshua, that is awful. Yeah, I know that we're about to fight some other wars. There's no way of saying
Yep.
about it.
I'm honestly not surprised that at some point we're probably going to be fighting, like with Russia because, with everything that's going on right now. Well, even, I'm just going to say this, not to get political again, but Biden even at one point said, when this was all starting with the invasion of Ukraine, Biden said, you know what, we better be on guard because it could eventually get worse. It could attack us at some point. So even he said that we better be on our guard because Russia could eventually strike us and many of the other allied
because you never know. It can be just the tiniest thing that can lead to World War III.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. But
and we've been under constant threat of that for the last 60 years.
Yep. Yeah. It's been going on since,
Yeah, and I mean, what do you think one arrogant person that's speaking for the rest of us is going to do for that? Not helping.
It's definitely not. Definitely not.
No, and it makes you wonder what is going to happen in our lifetime. I mean, it ain't looking good. And maybe that's why the aliens are here. Because we're about to destroy ourselves completely. Done.
My mom even once said a while back that probably the aliens are just going to take over because they probably have just had enough of what's going on over here. And that, you see all the movies about the alien invasions and stuff like that. Well, I think that could eventually happen, but not like what you see in the movies or books. Right. They're going to take it over because they're obviously going to do far better than what we're doing with it.
Yeah, because we got stupid people.
Yeah. They might still, the way I see it too, is they might keep a few, surviving species, but for the most part, I think they're going to wipe us all out and take it for themselves because obviously they would know that Earth would be better taken care of by something else than us.
All I can think of is that old saying where the aliens come to Earth and they say, "Take me to your leader." I'm like, we ain't got anybody worth a shit for you.
No, we don't. No, we don't. So that's another thing too. I sometimes wonder, because there's another kind of famous story, you hear a lot of times that aliens want to come and live on this planet. Well, I think even though they are kind of on this planet, this probably might be the reason why they remain in their UFOs. They don't really come to the Earth. It's come onto the ground itself because they probably know how dangerous it is to be on land. I think their only means of safety is being up in the sky, and that's why you don't hear about these alien visitations anymore because they think they are well aware of basically what's going on around this world. I think they know it's a dangerous area and they don't want to risk it.
I don't think that it's a matter of, and Nikki, chime in, please. I don't think it's a matter of them not wanting to be seen, anything like that. I think it's more accepted because it's more open and people are talking more openly about it. And yes, there's still times that they're being called crazy and stupid and whatever else. But with the government opening some of these files, then they're not quite as crazy at this point. And like she said, yeah, they were probably here before we were. Yeah. I'm going to say that's true. But, we have everybody. Let's think about 1980. If you were to say, hey, I was abducted by an alien, or I saw an alien, they're going to go on the loony bin because your ass has lost it. Now, so many more people are talking about it. So many more people are open about it where they weren't before. And there's movies about, well, documentaries about people saying, I couldn't talk about it because my neighbors would set my house on fire. I think it's always been here. I think it's always happened. But now we're able to discuss it in a forum that nobody's going to, make you go away for the rest of your life for it.
Just to let you guys know, Myth or Mystery is not going to be on tonight
Oh, okay. Okay.
because I have been looking on my third screen trying to find out what's going on with their show because I keep waiting for the notification to come on. She got the date wrong, said that we will be off Thursday, January 8th, but today's the 9th.
Yeah, Joshua, I think you're right. They could. And why they're not, I think they're going to let us see just how stupid we can get.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
I really hope some of these aliens do not look into some of our TikTok people. That is,
Oh God. Oh my God. Can you imagine what they'd be feeling right now on that? Oh my God.
It's nothing they don't know. Nikki, what do you think about? Okay, so let's say, what do they call that? Where you see something, but it's not really there. And what is that? There's actually a TV show about that where there's that little Nick. We were talking about that. The little soap bubble.
The soap bubble?
Yeah, that kept staying up there. And
Whoa,
it was hot
yeah.
on
What the hell was that? Oh my God, I can't believe I already forgot what it was.
what do they call that effect?
Oh my God, it's like right in front of me. I can't even
I
think of it.
know, I'm the same way.
It's killing me right now.
The cloaked.
Oh my gosh.
So like what you're really seeing is not what you're really seeing. Matrix? Is it the Matrix?
Yeah, it's like I think it's like the Matrix. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about the Matrix? Like, I had one guy tell me, and it's always stuck with me. He said, come out, walk outside with me. Walked outside, said, what do you see? I said, gas pumps, parking lot. He said, but is that really what it is? I'm like, what? He said, you need to stay away from the paranormal. He said, you may find answers that you really don't want to know. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. But that's stuck with me. Like, are we really saying what we think we're saying?
he wasn't wrong.
No.
Well, he actually died for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And was brought back. No issues. None. Like, you should be brain dead. You should be dead. No issues. And he could tell me every single detail of what he experienced while he was dead. And what he experienced was aliens.
Well, I'm sure.
I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. This is what I see. Explain it to me. He says, nope. He said, what I'm going to tell you, stay the hell away from it. Because you can't unsee once you see.
He's not wrong with that either.
Okay. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm sure one day I will. But yeah, that's always stuck with me. And I just wanted Nikki's opinion on that.
Did anybody get a chance to watch any of the funeral today?
I didn't. They were saying that Google was going to be like grayed out during that time, and I did not notice that either. I was, of course, working.
Now, I was able to watch a little bit of it on YouTube. All the major channels were streaming it. ABC, CBS, Fox, CNN. They were all streaming the funeral on their channels.
I
All I
wasn't
can
able
say
to
is
watch it
bless him.
myself, unfortunately.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, um, but I couldn't because I had things going on today, and I needed to get my writing done early today. But I did take a couple little breaks and watch it a little bit. Um, Jimmy Carter's son looks just like him. For a
Oh, I would have loved
Oh,
second,
to see
nice.
for a second, I thought it was actually him. He looked that much like his father.
that. I tell you what, him and Reagan, they were one of the best we had.
Even though that was long before my time, so it's kind of hard for me to say. But yeah, from what I've heard, though, yes.
Reagan's the best president we've had for the last 100 years.
I think Carter was pretty good. I really
You
do.
guys, you
Carter
guys,
wasn't able to get anything done while
But
he
that
was
wasn't
president.
totally his fault.
No, it wasn't his fault because he was, let's see, he was Democrat. And I think the way that I understand is that the House and the Senate were all Republicans, majority during his presidency. So he wasn't able to get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people have said that that's what hurt his presidency because it made him sound like he was something of a lame duck.
Yeah.
But the point is that he just wasn't able to get anything done because of that.
Right. Right.
Um, Now the stuff that he did do after the presidency, that to me was what cemented his legacy,
Hmm.
not the presidency itself.
Yeah.
what did you guys think of, just out of curiosity? Because obviously this was during my lifetime. What did you guys think? Like, how do you guys feel about like when we had Obama, years prior?
I was willing to give him a chance when he came on. Um, I did not give two shits if he was black. I did not care.
I didn't either.
Um, but when he got into office, and then stuff started happening. Um, to me, with some of the things that he would say now and then, it almost sounded like he was trying to support the race riots that was happening during his um his presidency. It seemed like that he was kind of egging them on, and while he wasn't saying it directly, it just seemed like
Excuse me.
but aside from that, I think he was the best speaker we've ever had in the White House.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'm not only just saying that, because he was also from my area, Chicago. I'm not saying that just that. I think he was just a really good speaker too.
Yeah, the whole thing in Chicago, the what was he, the Senate before he
I
was president?
think so.
And the whole controversy of that vacant seat being filled up, that Rod Blagovich or something like that, something about a bribe to get somebody else to fill in that thing and giving him some court um, shit.
So Nikki, and no, that was perfect. That did answer that.
Let's see,
So do you think there's been hybrids for a very long time?
so
Like
see that
older than me? I'm 50, by the way. Oh, Lord. Delete that shit.
Nope. This is live TV. Here it is. Rod Blagojevich. Um, he was removed. He was the governor of Illinois, removed from office, convicted, and incarcerated for 8 years on federal charges of public corruption. And this has to do with how um, he attempted to sell the U.S. Senate seat vacated by Obama when he so. Yeah, I remember that. Now I'm pretty sure. I'd like to think that Obama had nothing to do with that, but when it comes to politics, I cannot.
I
I
don't
can't
think
rule
we'll
it out.
ever know the
Yeah,
truth.
probably not, but I can't rule it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say for the most part.
I was ruined when I was in 7th grade. Now, mind you, I told you how old I was. 7th grade was a long time ago.
So seventh grade, that would have been during
Shut
the
up, Jeremy.
Reagan. That would have been Reagan.
Not quite. But I did have a classmate that I remember this, and I don't know why I remember it. I wasn't friends with her. I barely knew her. But she was telling the class, just as we were sitting there, it wasn't like she was standing in front of the class. But her brother joined the military and called home and said something to the effect of if anybody finds out I told you this, I'm dead. And he said something that happened to him, and his roommate or bunkmate, whatever, was killed because of something they knew. He said, I know too much now, and I don't think I'm ever coming home. So if I don't come home and you find out that I died mysteriously or disappeared, I didn't. And that's all he said. He never came home. They did say that he disappeared. He was never found. From that day on, anybody that talked about going to the military, my kids would say, I would join the military. I was like, hell no. Hell no. Find something else to do, because that ain't it. Now, is that wrong? Yes, absolutely. But yeah, no. Mm-mm. I knew that girl was telling the truth when she said that. And 7th grade, what do you know? All you know is to tell what you heard. You wouldn't know conspiracy theories. You wouldn't know any of that.
Seventh grade for you, that would have been right at the end of Reagan, beginning of Bush.
Yep.
Because when I was in the seventh grade, that was the first and second year of Clinton for me.
Chanel 7 when Reagan was shot.
So Reagan was shot in 1981.
Yeah, Nikki, he did. He was calling home, and I think he knew what was going to happen by the next day, and he just didn't care at that point. I think that's what happened. Now, that's speculation. I don't know. I just know what she said.
Let's see here.
Meant jerk off. What? Wait, what?
Assassination. Here it is. March 30th, 1981. That was when Reagan was shot.
Corruption. No Trump. Pardon that jerk
Uh,
off.
speak-
Okay. Okay.
Reagan. I recently watched the new Reagan movie with Dennis Quaid.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, really good. I
Yeah.
generally enjoy political movies. Yeah, political movies, legal shows. I enjoy the hell out of them, and Reagan to me is like a step below the JFK movie with Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, JFK is the perfect movie.
That's what I've heard about. That it's really good.
It to me it is the best movie ever made because of the production, the direction, the actors. They had a cast that just blows away all others.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that one of these days.
It it's long. It's about 4 hours long.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but it is so good. It is so good. I make a point to make sure I watch that at least once a year.
We listen to a lot of books all night long.
This we know.
Like, so Zach listens to audio audiobooks. Now
Oh,
they say you retain things when you're listening to them asleep. I promise you, I do not. I do not.
Um,
Uh,
oh, what was it? There's actually something that I discovered about that. It's called auditory processing disorder.
yeah, I promise you, I do not retain anything that I hear in my sleep. I promise you, I don't.
It is a disorder of the auditory system that causes a disruption in the way that an individual's brain understands what they are hearing, and I do believe that I have a part of that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't retain anything I'm hearing in my sleep. The only thing I do retain is like if I wake up and there's a spirit standing there. I retain that quite well because it
That
wakes
would
me
be
the
kind of
hell
hard
up.
to forget.
I also retain if there's a message because I have a journal beside my bed, and if I have a dream, I'll write it down. Sometimes it's nothing more than bullshit, and nothing ever comes of it. But sometimes there is a reason for it, especially when dead people start coming back to you. Uh, my audiobooks sound like Bugs Bunny. Yeah, yeah. And that's okay. My husband dreams in cartoons. I don't know.
Well, hey, I mean, don't forget, a while back he did an audiobook for me. You guys all did, and
We all,
myself. Yeah, we did. Which I got to get back to work on doing those.
which that's fine and great, but what he does is
Tom.
history. We try to do history audiobooks. And we've had lots of different, everybody has a different angle and perception of history. Whether it's they have different knowledge or they have, we're told different. I don't know. But we've done 4 or 5 different angles on Vikings. He is very big on the pyramids, Egyptians. And here recently, there has been 4 different angles and stories, 4 different stories, and they're all angled very differently on Abe Lincoln. Now, whether you believe Abe Lincoln was a hero, whether you believe he was scum of the earth, he was part of my adopted family. My grandma, I remember her telling stories about how huge his hands were. He was a teenager when she met him.
Who?
Abe Lincoln.
Oh,
But to hear these stories, it really sounds like he was out for himself too. So, I think this goes back a long ways about how selfish people as humans really are.
oh
I,
yeah, we're all selfish in one way or another.
I think we can act real well because the more positive you see on Facebook, the more positive everybody else is. But if you know him in real life, you're going, really? When did you change your tune? Because I know better. So I think acting is a huge part of us. I can't do it. I can't. I cannot act. I cannot. No. Because, if you're going to ask me something, please don't ask me unless you want the truth. Please don't. I try really hard to keep my mouth shut. So unless you really want the truth, don't. Just don't. I can't act. I can't do it. Get down. Don't you lick me. But it's one of those things that the people you're around, you tend to be more like them.
Oh, folks, that just sounded so wrong.
Everybody saw that there was not a human.
That really did.
That just sounded so wrong.
That's a perfect time to say that's what she said.
If she's saying don't, you better evaluate why not. See,
Tom, you don't sound like what Tom just said. You don't sound like Elmer Fudd when you did that audiobook. What the hell are you talking about?
Actually,
no, you did not. Because I heard it.
Didn't I comment to you about how good I thought Tom had done?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I remember Tom giving you like 3 or 4 of them that I thought had done really well. I thought Tom was one of them. I know Dave Childers was another one.
Oh, he was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt
Grant. Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to remember who the other two were.
Yeah, I remember that there was a couple of them that I had told you that I thought they had done really good because they were just really good.
Yeah, they were.
Tom was one of them.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Otherwise, Tom, you suck.
Well, and A-Train 2 was good. I remember.
I'm trying to remember.
Of course, I remember you said about when you heard Lois's audiobook, it was hard for her to understand because of her accent.
It is.
Say David Childers was good.
I did.
Do not give him a bigger head than he's already got.
I honestly don't.
Leave him alone. Holy shit.
I wish Eileen was on for this. I'd like to hear what she would have said.
I don't believe it's possible for him to get a big.
Yeah.
Do not inflate that fucking ego. No, I actually love David. It's fine.
Yeah, we tend to tease David really, really bad whenever we get a chance to.
Yeah. Well,
especially when he's here.
Yeah. I still remember that one time when we showed that video of him. He fell down the stairs.
When I did the loop on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I still have that video somewhere. I'll have to look for it.
I'm just gonna say this right now. If Dave ever became a show host on this network and we had to help out with the show and he needed an introduction, I would use that footage for the intro.
He needs humbled a little bit.
That's yeah.
Oh, that video humbled him big time.
Oh, that was funny. That was
funny as hell. It did.
That was funny as hell, nonetheless. Can you imagine if that was set on Paranormal Caught on camera? How do you explain that one?
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
So anyway. Exercise. Tom, how are you feeling, bud? I've been kind of keeping up with your story there. Where are you at right now?
I've spoken to him a few times. The last time I really spoke to him, I did offer if he wanted to come over here to celebrate New Year's with us, but he said it all depended on how he was feeling. He wasn't sure, and I kind of had the feeling he probably was going to be able to make it, which of course I understood. So I didn't object to any of that, obviously.
Yeah, see, unlike you, I don't get to talk to all these people on the phone and message them. So I have to find out on our weekly shows how everybody's doing.
Yeah. Oh, you cannot even imagine how many phone calls I've had to make a lot with these different investigators. Believe me.
Oh, yes, I can, and you can have it.
I remember one particular phone call that he had when we were on our way back home from Colorado.
Oh yeah.
He
I
got
remember that.
a bit of an ass chewing.
What's that?
You got a bit of an ass chewing.
Yeah, I did. I'll never forget that phone call. I felt so guilty when that happened.
None of us will. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Chanel, do not give him a no. No, 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 no.
Let's not
He
forget.
puts his damn underwear on one leg at a time like everybody else if he even wears them.
Jeremy, let's not also.
I'm actually going to have to save that quote.
But I'm going to tell you something. That boy, no, do not help him. No,
Sure.
hell no.
Jeremy, also, let's not forget one other important thing, too. In addition to that phone call, let's not forget about when when Scott was trying to speak into the GPS and he said all that crazy stuff. We were like laughing our asses off for like 20 minutes straight.
Scott is hilarious. God, I miss Scott.
Remember that?
Oh, when that the no thing
No.
happened.
That was hilarious. We were like
I miss
laughing,
Scott and Tammy. They
we
were
were like
amazing.
laughing at the back for like a half hour, like we were two drunk guys laughing like crazy.
You guys, the next time y'all come down, have to bring Scott down because there's something that I
I'd
owe
like
him.
to come back to Colorado, to be honest with you.
I owe Scott something.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy,
Trouble.
Taking strong
big
steroids.
trouble.
God, Tom.
Yeah, that was that trip was so much fun. I can't remember the last time I had laughed like that.
Yeah, yeah, and let's not forget, and Tom would know this too because he's done this himself. Of course, you guys also had fun taking pictures of me while I was asleep in the car. Damn it!
That's a given for any investigator, dude.
Yeah.
That's a requirement. Haven't you learned that yet?
Yes, I know it is.
Yeah, something like that is a requirement.
See, this is why I've been saying, stuff like this. I'm just trying to keep my fingers crossed in the hopes that we could do another trip like that later this year during the summer.
I think
What?
we're gonna go to Kansas because I'm gonna try to get in that place.
Well,
we're not
Kansas-
we're not advertising it. Nope, don't.
Kansas? No, I was gonna say Kansas. Doesn't matter where we go as long as we do another trip like that.
Well, I mean, that's not too far from here, so everybody can come here, relax for a little bit, and then we go.
Jan, I know, wants us to get together again like this year. I mean, she and I have been talking about that also. So we're trying to come up with something.
Yeah, I'm trying to save up hours too, so I can take. Of course, I work 10-hour days, so that means, when I rack up vacation, I only have to rack up 40 hours, and I'm off for 7 days.
That reminds me too.
8 days. 8 days.
I should probably just say this because it is pretty much publicly known. When I told you guys about the location that I found a few days ago, the Kansas
Don't
State.
you dare!
Okay.
No.
I thought you were talking about a different location. Never mind.
No, I'm talking about that, and we're gonna get We're
Okay. All right.
We're gonna get
Never
in
mind.
before we
Mouth
discuss
is
that.
okay. Never mind. Mouth is shut for that one.
See, folks, this is what happened when we get on the show. We don't know how to shut up.
Well, I didn't know which place Adrian was talking about to begin with, so that's why.
That place quiet.
Okay.
This
Mouth
is why we are not going to advertise that we're going to be investigating the Playboy Mansion.
Hey,
Oh
give
God.
me a year or so, maybe I can get back down to the weight I was, and then we can investigate the Playboy Mansion. Then I might be a threat to those spirits at some point.
Is that place even still around? I
I
mean,
don't know.
I was gonna say I have no idea.
I don't know. Hugh Hefner's dead, but
yeah. So I don't know if that place is still being utilized the way that.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of my daughter in bed with that man. Yes,
Wow.
we lived in California, and they have those museums, and that was one of them.
Okay, I don't know if you realize this, but we're now 2.5 hours into the show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I did.
We're having fun though. Let's be honest here.
But like I said, there is no show after us tonight, so
Yeah.
we technically can go as long as we want.
No, we can't because I just found a credit card and I'm going shopping.
Uh-oh.
So whoever's
So at 8:30
somebody's in trouble.
p.m., Adrian is going shopping.
Hell,
What's that?
AA batteries.
Oh.
Ooh, AA batteries. That's always fun.
Get a battery, Daddy.
Nick, please retract that statement. Please retract that statement.
wasn't even thinking that way, but okay.
Please retract that.
Oh, what you guys really need to get is a battery, Daddy.
I've got one.
What the hell? Wait, battery,
It's
Daddy.
full. This is what's left of the AA batteries. It's full.
Oh, okay.
Hang on a second. I gotta ask. Battery, Daddy. What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's like a little briefcase carrier for battery.
Patty,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what
and
they
it's
were
got
called.
every size battery and a tester for all batteries.
I honestly didn't know that's what they were called.
It's a thing
Except for
that I've
9 volts.
doing a lot of
Your time.
that we've investigated, Nick. Don't you remember?
Well, yeah, I remember. I just didn't know that's what they were called.
Well, some of them call it Caddy, but the one that I got was actually called Daddy.
Daddy, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well now that makes more sense.
Nikki, I don't know if they've cleaned that mansion or not, but holy shit. People are coming forward
even
left
want to
and
know.
right with stories.
I think he had something in his will in place to keep the mansion going in the manner that it was going.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I thought he had something in his will about that.
Him and
I
his.
wouldn't have a clue.
He was not a nice man.
I heard he wasn't. I heard he was kind of an abusive figure.
Yeah, all of his wives have finally come forward and did documentaries. So, has anybody kept up with? What is that? Okay, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna filter this.
This
The
is gonna be good.
So let me see the latest before I say anything, because some people may actually have a love for this woman. I don't know how, but whatever. Everybody has their own opinion.
Brace yourselves.
Nothing bad. Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose
Oh.
Blanchard.
I haven't seen anything about her in a couple of months now.
Yeah,
Months? Are
same
you
with me.
serious?
Yeah.
She had her baby.
Oh, she did.
She had her baby. And
didn't
they're
realize
still
she
not
was
sure
doing
whose it is.
I knew that she had dumped her fiance, and
Husband.
was he her husband?
She married him before she left jail.
Yes. And then she left him for another guy.
Ryan, she left him for a guy that she was previously in a relationship with. Now, mind you, tell me how this woman had a bunch of relationships when she was in prison for unaliving her mother.
You'd be surprised how people in jail get into relationships.
It's like, what
Okay.
on earth?
Oh, yeah. Okay, no. Yeah, the guy that she's with now, that's the one I know about.
She's not with him. He left her and went back to his mama in Texas.
Wow.
He couldn't deal with her ass.
Why am I
it
not surprised?
shows here he was with a guy from 2018 to 2020. And
Uh-huh.
then she married somebody in 22 and got
Ryan
divorced in
Anderson.
24. And then she went back to this guy in 24. And right now is showing that they're still together.
That's a lie. He is back with his mama. He was there for the birth. He is back with his mama because he cannot protect her ass because her mouth is constantly running.
Jeez.
No, she.
You know, it's just like
Okay, I
I don't even know what
understand.
to think.
I understand. She was abused. I get it. I get it. But should she really be making the money she's making off of this shit? Because now, well, let's go back to the beginning. She manipulated an autistic boy way on the spectrum to unalive her mother. And he's about ready to start speaking out. I cannot wait for that.
Well, here's the thing people are willing to spend money on her,
Yes.
people are willing to give her their money.
Yep. That's the problem. But haters are,
about that.
yeah, and got away with it. Yeah, exactly. Got away with it. That's the problem. And she has been on, I've been following her YouTube, her TikTok. She got her Facebook account hacked by a hater. And I mean, he took it all and told her to pay $500. She still lies.
We had somebody do that to Eileen's profile.
Uh-huh.
Because whoever hacked her profile came into our chat
Yep.
and
Jill.
pulling that on us.
Yep.
I remember that one. Oh, I went off on that guy.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jill.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jill's in the chat, guys.
No, Tom. He's.
Hey,
I just
Jill.
said hi, Jill. Thank you, Nick, for being behind.
No, that just showed up like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, what are you talking about? TMZ time.
I know exactly what she's talking about.
We are not the TMZ of paranormal. Now we can get the names of people who are.
So
but we won't do it on
TMZ.
the show.
So TMZ ended up dissing her really bad. They dumped her ass. This girl is so controversial just because of what she went through, and people can sympathize what she went through. But she also learned how to manipulate, and now she's doing it. And I mean, she's pretty damn good at it, if you ask me. So there's so many
A lot of
sides.
people, when they see that, hey, I can do this and make money off of it, damn well they're going to do it.
There's so many sides to that. I mean, people either really love her or they really hate her. But when she got her account hijacked, the haters knew that that person hijacked her accounts. They were sending him gifts, I believe, and thinking that he was going to get those gifts. Well, when she got her account back, they paid her out those gifts. And she was like, thank you to the haters. Bitch, start taking care of your kid and stay off the fucking internet. Because her stepmama's taking care of her kid, not her.
Yep.
So get a life, start taking care of your kid, be a better mama than you claim your mama was, and knock your shit off.
Isn't that the truth?
Not a clue who this is because I don't watch regular TV, but interesting. Nikki, it wasn't on TV. It was Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and she unalived her mother. I want to say it was 12 years ago, something to that effect.
She did it.
While you're doing that, Jeremy, I didn't even notice. Robert sent me. Pictures.
2015, so almost 10 years ago.
Okay, okay. So she unalived her mom because she didn't see a way out. I understand this because her mom told her she was younger than she was, that she couldn't walk, that she had cancer. Her mother even had her teeth pulled. I mean,
Oh,
it was a nasty mess. They had a gastric, they call it a G tube in her where she could not eat solid foods and she did not
God.
eat. There was nothing wrong with this girl. Nothing. But they had all these conditions. She convinced doctors that she had it, and these doctors did it. And I think these doctors ought to be held liable as well. But
Yeah.
whatever. And then she convinced an autistic boy to help her unalive her mother, and he did. And he is now doing life in prison, where she was out in 7.5 years. I don't understand. I don't get it. There was nothing wrong with her mental capacity, nor any other part of her. That boy did not know what he was doing. I don't get it. I don't understand how this logic works, but she is now rich and famous.
I think they're looking at as he's the one that did the actual.
The act,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but he didn't, because there is, if you look at the interviews with the police with her, she talks about how her mother looked at her and said, "Please don't do this to me." And it was her she was talking to. She said that her mother looked at her and said, "Please don't hurt me." So, I think she had more play in it than is being said. I just have no respect for her. I really don't. I empathize with what she went through, but she was also intelligent enough to know there was a way out, because if she had the internet to be able to manipulate this boy for over a year to do this for her, she also had access to help. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. That the fact that she manipulated this kid to do the things that she wanted him to do.
Chanel, I didn't know he wasn't doing those anymore. When I was going into locations quite a bit, he was always like right before I went in. He was always there. And they would always tell me, well, he left his crew here and went back to the motel to go to bed. He did his part and done. I don't care for him at all either.
That's just like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even have words to even put it. To be honest with you.
Munchausen by proxy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Mr.
did
Megan.
a search for her on Facebook to see if I could try to find it, and I'm seeing hashtag Gypsy Rose Blanchard on damn near everything that has nothing to do with her. People are using her name to hashtag their post so that their post would get exposure.
It looks like her sister and her stepmother are done with her right at this point. But
Yeah.
look on YouTube. And the lady that I listen to all the time, because she actually talks to Christy and Mia, which is her stepmom, and her ooh TMZ's exposing her. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lady that talks to everybody in her family and gets the latest scoop. Um, Gypsy Rose loses it when proof about Ken Urker being what? Gay? Oh, well, that's not
Oh
news.
boy.
That's not news.
No, it's not.
Who?
Her baby daddy supposedly being gay. That's not news. And that's okay. Who gives a shit? He can be gay all he wants to. He's adorable. Yeah, but if you look up Gypsy Rose on YouTube, there's all kinds of things going on.
Yeah, I noticed that.
The
She
hell
could have done.
What's that noise in the background? It sounded like somebody was screaming.
That would be Zach screaming, "Shut up" to the dogs.
Okay. I was gonna say that was loud as hell.
Well, he does that on a almost hourly basis.
Yes, he does.
I've heard it.
That's my first time I've heard it.
Even during the few days that you were there.
Actually, wait, no, there was one time that he did that. Yeah.
The words are "Stop it, knock it off, get the fuck off me, stop licking me."
I remember I still remember what he said. He said, "Are you guys out of your freaking minds?" That kind of thing.
Don't believe Gypsy, and she's anything but yeah, exactly, Joshua, exactly. Yeah, bless her heart. She's in for a very, very rude awakening. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it ain't gonna be good.
No.
There's a lot of people out there that need to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, really. And of course, let's not forget with who we were talking about earlier, who's going to screw everything up for this country. He definitely needs a rude awakening.
He may get it. I think a lot of his stuff is being blocked right now from the cabinet, state, senate.
I've read that some of his choices have been having difficulty being accepted. I remember reading something about the appointment of Tulsi Gabbard. That there was a wrench in the road on that one. Also, I read something about one of the courts has decided not to suspend his sentencing from
Right. Yep.
his guilty verdict. I read that.
Was that today, or he's supposed to be sentenced tomorrow?
That was today.
Was it today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the court saying they weren't going to suspend it.
Right.
But the problem is he goes into office in 10 days, 11 days.
Yep.
If they don't get it done, presidential immunity.
That's right.
That's all right. It's all going to work out the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
We're just along for the ride. Yeah, we can't change it. We're just along for the ride.
And the people who made that choice too, they did it. They can't take it back.
We're along for the ride. This is history.
It says here that he can be sentenced tomorrow.
Great. But there's no jail time involved. There's no probation involved. It ain't going to change a thing.
No, and odds are he can basically pardon himself. But
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that works.
He can on federal charges. He cannot on state charges.
Okay.
But
Well-
here's the thing. It doesn't make any difference because there's no probation involved. There's no jail time involved. It doesn't matter. And why in God's name did we not put somewhere that a president can't be a felon? How did we escape that little tidbit?
Probably because who would have ever thought that would be a possibility?
Yeah. But seriously, why? I bet it's in there after this.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
It's just like, well, and to make matters worse, he's not only just going to be partying himself, he's also going to be I know he's going to be partying a lot of people who were involved in the riot a few years back.
He said he was going to.
Yep.
He said he was going to, and then the last interview I heard, he said, well, why does this person need pardoned?
There was actually, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, there was a guy that was part of the riot, and he had like 2 kids who were like teenagers, and he actually threatened that if they told the authorities that he was involved in the riot, he would hunt them down and kill his own children, which thankfully, I don't know if it was through their interference or somewhere else, but, he was arrested for it. He was sentenced to quite a couple years in prison, but the fact now that he's probably going to be freaking paroled, he's probably going to come after his kids and continue the job. I mean, he basically was saying that message saying, when I get out of here, I'm going to find you both and I'm going to finish the job.
Unfortunately, we're in for some
I worry for
rides.
I worry for those kids. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that we're probably going to see definitely several murders going on, and probably including those 2. So if you guys see news in the future of 2 siblings murdered, I can guarantee it's definitely them.
Chanel, yes, it is still open. One of my good friends went there last year. Ended up with quite an attachment from there. But yes, it is still open.
Museum?
Huh?
Talking about the museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has that open, unfortunately.
I have heard so many bad things about that. I have been to Vegas several times since he's opened it. I will not give that place the time.
No, I won't either. But
I'd rather give my time to the. I would rather give my time to the Warren Museum. Than,
yeah. The girls had went. The ones that are always here, Jackie and Stephanie and all them. And Stephanie ended up with quite an attachment over that deal, and I'm talking so serious she doesn't remember what happened.
Here's the other thing too that should be worth noticing. Maybe I told you guys this a long time ago about all this talk about the museum. Zach Bagans apparently said something that was like really bad, like very disrespectful, like about Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I remember Tony, because I'm friends with their son-in-law, Tony Spira. So I remember when Tony,
I am too.
Yeah, he probably, so you know what I'm talking. He was absolutely outraged for what Zach said about the Warrens. I don't remember what it was. I think it was like that. He says they have nothing over with what he's got. He's got a far better museum than what they have, even though their museum has been around much longer than Zach's.
He called them frauds, is what.
Yeah, exactly. That was just not. I would certainly agree with Tony. That was just not appropriate. That was just so disrespectful for Zach to say that about him.
You know what? I think he needs to be vice president because they're in that same category.
Yeah, really. He should be. He really should be.
They're in the same category. They're both. Their heads are bigger than any room.
And here's the thing. I know it has nothing really to do with, where he's from. Yes, Zach may have originally came here from Chicago, but it's no different than anywhere else. Just because you come from a certain area that you live in doesn't mean they're still going to be exactly jerks. So he may have been from my area, but it doesn't make him less of a douchebag, as we always call him, douchebag.
No, it does not. All right, guys, we have went an hour over.
Well, yes, we have.
We didn't get to talk about, if I could just say real quick about the one other subject matter for Dave. You want to say something quickly about him?
Yeah, should say something. Now, I didn't know him. All I knew, some collaborations that he had done with Greg Bakken, who is a co-host on this network. I really only knew him from that. On a personal level, I knew nothing except that he had a voice for radio. That's all I can really say.
Who?
David Taylor.
Oh, okay.
One who just passed away a few days ago.
I have seen that all over the place, and unfortunately, I never got to know him.
I actually got to have the opportunity to briefly meet him in person last year at Parasitecon. He came out to Parasitecon in Ohio. He lived out in North Carolina, so I didn't really know too much about him prior, and I was fortunate enough to speak with him for at least a minute or two, but it was just like a simple, hey, how you doing, that kind of thing, and he was interviewing different people who were guests at the Parasitecon. So I gotta admit, I was kind of surprised he didn't ask me to be a guest because with all these appearances, I thought he would have recognized me immediately, but it didn't matter to me because I was not there for the interview. I was there for the event itself, but it just seemed like he was a really nice guy to chat with, and I maybe I did. I mean, to be completely honest with you guys, because as you guys know, I know I've been trying to work on this next audiobook project of getting different podcast hosts together. I think I originally did add his name because again, being a paranormal podcast host himself, I think I added his name to the list of new podcast hosts who could be narrators. So of course, obviously now I'll never get the chance.
Yep.
I think what shocked most people is that he had just done a podcast the night before.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And there was, I went back and watched a couple of minutes of it. There was no sign.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was probably like a sudden heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
There was definitely no warning. So yeah, I'm starting to think I would either assume it was either, like you said, either a heart attack or could have even been a stroke.
Aneurysm, anything.
Aneurysm, yeah. But he didn't even look that old either. I mean, he looked like he probably had to have been like what, maybe in his late 50s, early 60s at least.
Yeah.
So I couldn't believe it when I found out that he passed away the very next day.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy that was only 28. He had a massive heart attack, died.
Yep.
We
So-
just never know.
Well, and after with what I went through 2 months ago, and that is under the category of a stroke. So at times it doesn't really matter how old you are when you have something like this.
That's also an aneurysm.
Yep, that too. And I'm only 31, and still that happened to me. I mean, I'm fortunate to survive, but still that could happen to anybody regardless of age.
It can. Remember the night I was on the show and I went to the hospital?
Yes, I remember that one clear as day.
If I'd have waited another hour, I'd have died on the show.
That would have, yeah,
I
that
mean-
would have.
You never know. You really don't know how serious something is if it comes on quickly.
No, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, all three of us have had a life-threatening incident.
Yep. And
Even-
it makes you really think and appreciate other people's lives.
That's why I've been, to be perfectly honest. I mean, yes, I did this even before my ordeal, but obviously,
Come stay with me. You won't die alone. Come on.
as you guys know, I've been doing this before even I had my ordeal, like where I make my music posts with that Metallica song, for those who passed away, for in our paranormal community. Yeah, it's a way to show its respect, and of course to show that they're definitely not alone. But also, after my ordeal, as you guys have seen, I again, yes, I did it before this too, but not as frequently.
Mhm.
I've been doing this more often, like with what we were talking about earlier with the wildfires, where I post, for our paranormal folks in Southern California
Yeah.
that were suffering the effects of the fires. I've been doing that a lot. I've been doing that a lot more often than what I previously had done. Before, I only had done it every now and then. Not necessarily because I didn't want to do it frequently. It's just that, like everybody else, we had so much going on within our schedules. But now I've been kind of focusing more often on that kind of stuff after what I have gone through.
Chanel, yes, he is.
Yes, he is, unfortunately.
I actually talked to him 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's still doing stuff. He's also dealing with the bullshit of the Conjure House, but yeah. Um,
Nick's involved in that now?
he had some involvement. Yeah. I mean, not to the effect of some others, but yeah. I mean, his input is there.
I haven't heard anything about the Conjuring House in a month.
I haven't either since David's last post.
Yep. That's same thing with me too.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But the thing is, we never know. You look on your Facebook feed, and every year, 5 or 6 are gone, and it's a shock.
And look what Chanel said. She had a heart attack at 38, multiple myeloma at 47, and 2 strokes at 48.
Yeah.
Damn.
We just never know. I mean, we really don't know the hand we're dealt with our health, and most of it is not even. You see people smoking at 90 years old,
Yep.
and that's not what they die of. And then you see some that smoke in their teenage years, and that's what they die of. So, genetics, I don't know what all plays a part in it, but I figure I'm just going to enjoy every day and do the same with everybody else, assume it's their last day, because
That's
you
what I've done.
don't know.
I do that. I know I said this. I don't know if it was on this show or it was a different one, but I know I said something like that before that. Every time I wake up in the morning, I think to myself, this, could be my last day here on earth, so I better make the most of it. Of course, obviously, again, when I was in the hospital with what I was going through, that was definitely not how I imagined how it was going to end. But it was also more difficult to deal with because it was a more painful experience than anything.
Yeah. I mean, having a migraine, period, is one of the worst things you can have.
I honestly believed that with what I was going through, even when I was in the hospital, I thought my time was almost up. I mean, I really thought it was over for me. But the worst part of that entire feeling was I felt like I was dying. I was going to die a very long, slow, and painful death because that's how bad my head was.
Well, and you come to a point where your pain is so bad. And I remember my mother saying this, let me go. Just let me go. Because your pain is so bad and you don't see an end to it. So you're like, okay, this is it. That's fine. Because I can't live like this.
Well, that's what I look at a lot of times when I look at those pictures, when I took those selfie pictures in the hospital. I mean, you see them even now. I literally look like hell in those pictures, almost like I'm just tired and I've had enough. It doesn't even look like I even want to live anymore. And when you're in that type of painful situation like that, constant with no signs of healing, I can't picture it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's when our bodies and our brains are, that's part of our survival mode is, okay, acceptance. I'm done because I can't do this.
I was going through episodes not only just from like when it was like hurt to like painful to go to sleep. There were times that I was definitely hallucinating. I was losing it. My eyes even rolled up several times. Like it was almost like as if I was just almost best way I could describe it is almost like I was just fighting to just let it all go because I just couldn't take it anymore. Because after a while, you can't stand the pain anymore. Yeah. And I was just, waiting. At this point, I was just waiting for the white light or whatever was supposed to happen to you at that, at that.
I'll tell you what, even in the amount of pain that I was in, I still didn't want to die.
Right.
It was that I think it was at that point where I realized I got shit to do.
It's survival mode at that point.
Yeah. It was, well, let me partially refrain from what I said. I mean, it's like I was just ready to let go, but at the same time I wasn't because that was the other thing too. I was thinking to myself, I still had so much. And of course, I've even said, with my international status, I was like, too many people around the world need me right now.
There's a lady she's on TikTok, and I can't think of her name right now, but I'm sure if you just scroll TikTok, you'll find her. Um, she has got stage 4 cancer, and her daughter's with her. But every video she has made from the time she found out she had stage 4, she found out at stage 4. Every video she is smiling, she is laughing, she talks about, she's asked her kids to ask 60 questions that they want answers to, so that her kids and grandkids can have all this. Like, she's amazing. I mean, she's such an inspiration. It wasn't her last. About a week ago, she did a video, and she said she was crying. She said, "I'm done. I'm dying. And I love life. And I wish it wasn't like this. And I want to stay." That's what the living, once they're gone, that's what the living see. And we're like, she didn't want to go. Why did she have to go? She didn't want to. If, on the other hand, she had, which she has since, done the acceptance and said, I'm done. I can't live like this anymore. That's easier for the living to deal with than, I don't want to go. I'm scared. I can't do this. She has since come around, and she is almost gone. I don't give her 3 more days. But she has let us follow her journey from day one. And I think that's amazing, because we all need to see what happens and the different perspectives people go through to come to that end. She's now at the point she's hurting, she can't breathe, and she's dead.
I have been doing videos throughout my journey. Let's see. I don't really get a whole lot of views, to be honest. 300, 400 views.
And that's actually pretty good.
It is?
Chanel, yeah, God has a better plan for you. You're stuck with us.
Well, there's others that I have looked at who are going through their own medicals, and they're in the thousands.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is between that, but I've seen some that are in thousands and thousands, and they're not funny. They're not informative. They're not a journey. I don't even know.
Yeah. Let's see. I got one video here that's at 707.
That's okay, Chanel. We'll take you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not complaining. I just put my videos out there for people to see. Now, the same videos that I put on TikTok, I also put on Facebook and YouTube. I get a lot of response on Facebook.
Yeah.
On YouTube, I'll check the views on them.
I don't even check YouTube half the time, but TikTok, it's kind of a for you page thing. I just scroll through there, but
Well, for my personal channel, I only have 36 subscribers.
yeah, I don't do YouTube hardly at all.
Yeah.
Now, TikTok, the only time I ever put things on there is just for a record of things. That's pretty much all it is.
Oh, holy cow!
Yeah.
Most of my views are pretty low, but one of my videos I actually got about 600 views on that one.
On
I don't
TikTok?
know. YouTube.
Oh,
Now I don't know how that video ended up getting like 10 times the amount of all the other videos. I'm not really sure
I-
why.
You know what's funny? I gotta say this right now is that when you mentioned about the YouTube, I've looked at my videos that I've uploaded of my audiobooks on YouTube, and there's like still like a number of them that have very few views. But my very first video that I ever uploaded, you're going to get this movie reference immediately, Jeremy. It was, well, I uploaded it back in 2010 when I was still in high school, and it was my own fan made video of the Silver Shamrock commercial from Halloween 3. And that right now, as of, let me see here, I couldn't believe it got this many views. To this day, I mean, as of now, it's gotten over 217,000 views.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know how that got that many. I mean, yes, I uploaded back in 2010, but still 217 and over 2,000.
17,000 views.
Yeah.
That's technically viral.
It's what?
That's technically viral.
Yeah, it is.
Chanel?
Current number is 217,288 views and over 2,000 likes.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Chanel, it's Zach, Aaron, Billy, Jay, Nick, Dave Schrader is the ones that have been on there.
Well, Dave Schrader's not part of the crew, though. I mean, I know he's been on the Travel Channel, but he's not officially part of the crew on the
Not
other.
anymore.
No, she's talking about the original three, which is Aaron.
Yeah, Nick, Zach, and Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron had a huge issue, and he's not on there anymore.
I'm not
But
surprised.
he was treated like shit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Wait, Aaron has left Zach now?
Zach basically
And
abused.
he had at one point. I don't know if he's back.
I know
Zach
that Nick left, but I didn't know Aaron left.
Zach practically abused Aaron. For the
Oh,
most
yeah.
part.
Oh, yeah.
I think I might, again, probably have said this before, but the one thing that really pushed it over the edge for me, and this is not just for what happened to Aaron, it kind of made me stop watching Ghost Adventures altogether. Maybe you guys have seen this episode where Zach wanted Aaron to go to some particular room. I don't know if it was a castle of some sort, and Zach and Aaron didn't want to be part of it because I think he might be claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but Zach kept pushing him to do it. And it got to a point where Aaron finally gave in and is like, all right, fine, but I'm only going to go in for a second. So he goes in the room, and then shortly after he goes into the room, Zach sneaks up from behind, and he closes the door on him and locks the door. And, Aaron, he starts panicking, which, I thought to myself, I'm thinking, wow, Zach's really become quite a real jerk.
Is this something that they actually put on the show?
Yeah, they did. I saw this.
How do we know that wasn't staged?
It was definitely not, because you could see the panic in Aaron's eyes. He was not
I
happy.
mean, he is a good actor. It could have been staged, yes, but either way you look at it, it made him out to be the asshole, and
Well,
it should have never happened. That's not what ghost hunting is about. That's not what we do to our team.
you don't trap your fellow team members like that. And most of, I mean, it got to a point where Zach, he had to escape through a window to get. I mean, I know Aaron's a big guy, but I was surprised he was able to, and I was surprised he was able to escape, get out of there that way.
Oh, Aaron's not very big.
Well, yeah, not at least not anymore. But he
Yeah,
had
no,
to,
he's not.
he had to get out. He had to get out through a window. for
Well,
this.
the thing
And
was, one of their
like-
crew, I don't remember if it was Aaron, one of their crew, he had an attachment, and they ended up doing a show on him, following him. But he had an attachment, ended up getting a tattoo on his arm regarding that attachment. It ruined his life for a while.
Yeah.
And it ended up really, really bad. And he left. It was, and no regard from Zach about
Well,
it.
and Zach, I mean, like this whole incident I'm talking about, when he found out that Aaron escaped through this window, he was just like really upset about that. It's like, the hell is wrong with you? It's like it's not even, again, just a matter of him acting. To me, it was really dumb that Zach even did that to begin with, because here's the thing. What if there was a fire that occurred in the building? And
Yeah.
Aaron could not get out because Zach locked the door. If something like that truly happened, that would have been over for Aaron. He would have been done for at that point.
He can't think past his own little fame there.
He doesn't think or regard safety for his crew members like most paranormal teams would.
And even if he's really not like that, which I know that's not the case, but even if he's really not like that and they portray him like that on TV, how do you expect somebody to like someone like that?
Exactly.
Yet he gets the ratings.
And some of our paranormal people are like, oh, yes, he's the best. I love. Are you even paying attention to what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you following this? And do you believe everything's a demon? Because this is the premise here, guys.
You know, and I've said this before too, where he always thinks everything is demonic, and he thinks that, and obviously he thinks that's like such a cool experience or whatever. Well, as you guys know, when I told you I had witnessed that exorcism, it's hard to believe now. It's been almost 10 years since I witnessed that, and even if that was the case, if that was a true case of demonic possession that I witnessed, it is not fun at all. Like,
Yeah.
when you're seeing something like that in person, and you know also that possessed person is not only being controlled by basically an inhuman entity, but also more importantly, because it's true, exorcisms can be very painful, or if
Oh,
not,
yeah.
if worse, they can be fatal. So
You know,
knowing
I'm actually willing to go far to say Zach probably doesn't even believe in hardly any of what he does, that none of it is demons, but he is saying that every place is
yeah,
demonic because that's what gets people to watch the shows. So I have a suspicion that he doesn't even believe his own shit.
No, I know
well,
he can't.
regardless of the fact that I witnessed this, case of demonic possession, witnessing it firsthand and knowing that this kid, because this was like a 20-year-old kid that they were performing this on, knowing this kid's life was on the line, that this could have killed him, I can certainly say from experience that is not something that I'm proud of carrying with me, because that was, when you see something like that, you never forget it, and that, knowing this kid's life was on the line, that actually scared me more than the actual possession or exorcism itself. Even in this day and age, it's still, exorcisms are still very controversial, especially when somebody died from it. And that was the part that again really frightened me, because I came to that realization that if he didn't, by the end of this, we all could have ended up going to prison for murder.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we are way over.
Way over.
I
Yeah.
think the old man is wanting to go to bed. I'm
This was
off
a good
tomorrow.
conversation, though, to be honest with you guys.
It was really fun. And Nikki, thank you for joining us. Send me a friend's request. Send Jeremy and Nick one. And
I would send her one.
I'm
Oh.
actually, I got distracted obviously with the show, but I was gonna send her a friend request myself.
yeah, send me one.
Actually, I just did. Never mind. I just did.
Yeah.
Necromancer. Yeah. Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's well, I don't know about y'all, but
Let's call it a night.
need to
Yeah,
go-
I got a call. My mom's been waiting to chat with me because I haven't seen her all day.
Alexa, stop.
It's the first time I've heard that in a long time.
I don't know what possessed her.
She's electronic.
Yeah,
Still
she's
doesn't mean
possessed.
it can be. Still doesn't mean it can be possessed.
Well, she can possess somewhere else because I'm too tired for that bullshit.
Alexa is AI, so
Very true.
all right, folks. Well, thank you so much for sticking around with us for as long as we've been on. This is
over 3 hours.
Yeah, this is the longest show we have done in a very long time.
Kind of was good to kind of do something like this again, to be honest with you guys.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
My limit is right there at 2 hours. By then I'm ready to be done. Yeah, just like Joshua said, oops, I
Oops.
did it again.
Oh, damn it, Josh. Now you got that. Now you got that Britney Spears song of that title stuck in my head. Yeah.
When I hear Britney Spears, I see her on a fucking wrecking ball naked. No, hell no.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.
Miley Cyrus.
Thanks for that.
That's Miley Cyrus. That's not Brittany.
Whoever it is, I don't
that-
give a shit. It's all
Miley
nasty.
Cyrus, that's
All
a
of
whole different story right there.
All of them. No.
That is a good song, though. Just that the video,
Which
No,
video are we
no,
talking?
no,
Which video
we're
are we
good.
talking about?
huh?
Which video are we talking about?
The Wrecking Ball.
Huh?
Wrecking ball.
Oh, Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, Ed. Speaking of videos, I never had to show that Viking commercial I said I found on one of the Capital One commercials.
Good
Next
song.
week.
It's just
Next
that
week.
they went overboard with the video.
Yeah, I know. You'll
All
get a
right.
kick out of it, Ed.
We'll go ahead and call it an.
What the hell?
I have no idea.
Did you boot him for talking?
I did not. Nope. I did not touch him. Okay. Well, Nick has already said bye bye. So for all of you guys out there, thank you so much for playing along with Nick. We don't want you back.
That was my accident. I accidentally clicked on the wrong tab to close. I was trying to close the Capital One tab, but I accidentally ended up closing the live stream.
Okay.
Well,
Say
you've
good
knocked
night,
yourself-
Nick.
You've knocked yourself off stream many times doing something.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, say good night or I'm putting cockroaches up.
No, don't even try. Don't even try.
Eileen had already done that to him a couple times last week.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Eileen. She traumatized me. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, folks. So thank you so much for playing along tonight and sticking with us into the extreme overtime. Definitely was not planned. Join us next week. I don't know what the plan. We never know what the plan is. So
I tried contacting those girls again. I did hear back from her, Noelle last night. Just waiting for her to said she would get back to me as soon as she could. So hopefully, maybe we'll have a guest next week.
That means we have to behave.
Yeah, we don't want to behave.
Well, if it's gonna be that Thursday, I don't know. It depends on their schedule.
Well, I'll tell you what. Schedule them for the week that I'll be gone in March, and then you guys can have fun with that.
The only time we behave is when you are here because, yeah, you know, my mouth ain't going to stop running.
Yeah, but at the same time, Nick needs to get his ass on under his account so that he can figure out the controls because that one guy won't be here. He's going to have to run the show.
That's right.
Yeah, I have been waiting on him to do that for 3 months now.
Yeah, I know. It's been the holidays, man. I've been so busy.
Nick, holidays are over. You have 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week to get your shit figured out.
Yeah. TikTok, Nick.
Hey.
1 week. You still never did the book review that you were supposed to do.
I know.
I've
been.
This is your
There's a lot of
redemption.
things that he's been supposed to do.
1 week, buddy.
Hey, I've also been again talking with Jan lately about trying to plan some of these big trips for this year.
Okay, that's half your issue. You're talking to Jan. That's a 5-hour conversation.
Thankfully, well, no, we just typed. We didn't chat on the phone. Thankfully,
I don't care. It's still a 5-hour conversation. Typing with her is a 7-hour conversation. So, take a day off from that and do what you're supposed to do.
I have tomorrow off. I can do it tomorrow.
Perfect. Let's see. The whole audience heard this. You better have it done by this next show.
Well, and also too, if both things are not completed by tomorrow, then I also got Saturday off, so I can at least have 2 days
No
off.
excuses.
You know,
then.
we are not going to be doing this where I've got tomorrow off to do it, and then you get there. Well, nah, not today. I'm not feeling it. I'll do it tomorrow. No.
Yeah, and Robert has a point. I guess I'm gonna have to stay away from Minecraft for a week to do all this stuff.
Yeah,
Play
don't play your
Minecraft.
games until you get your shit done.
Priorities.
This means I guess this means I'm grounded then.
Big boy
There you
priorities.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. This is our first things grounded. How's that?
Big boy priorities first.
I never thought I would actually utter those words.
That's get attacked by bees. What Robert said.
No, not bees, cockroaches.
Roaches.
No, I'd rather take bees.
Well,
like
that's
Nicolas
not. That's
I'd
not.
rather
the
take bees like Nicolas
consequences, though.
Cage.
That's
Huh?
not the consequences. If you don't do your shit, next show, there's going to be nothing but cockroaches running across the screen while we're doing the show.
Let's see.
God.
here. So Nick, if you don't get your stuff done, we are going to rename you Upson Pratt.
Upson Pratt.
Yeah.
From Creep Show.
Yep.
Oh God,
Yeah,
man, you
we'll
guys
be
I got a
doing-
lot coming. I got a lot coming to me if I don't do it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. How many? Shit, they had like 50,000 cockroaches for that scene.
At least, or if not, at least 5,000 of them.
There
And you're
was
going to have them all. So let's get
Yeah.
it done.
there was something about that. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get off here and stop.
We
torturing Nick.
really gotta get off.
Yeah, we're going to stop torturing Nick, even though it is so much fun.
Well, I know you guys will have a bigger kick out of it if I don't finish everything next week, because then you got all the time in the world for those 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't get your stuff done, then next week all it's going to be is Torture Nick show.
I'm sure Eileen would definitely be taking pleasure in that. She's gonna, man, would she love that?
Uh-huh.
Well, she was able to do the show last week. Hopefully,
Yeah.
she'll be able to do it next. By
She's-
the way, the reason Eileen was not here, she was doing an award show, and her apartment complex, the one that she manages, actually won an award tonight. So,
The red carpet.
She also sent me a message the other day about something involving roaches too. So she was obviously trying to torture me on that too. And this was just the conversation between me and her. So yeah, I know for a fact she'll definitely be targeting me for next week.
there we go.
So let's avoid all that and get it done.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for playing along, and we'll just figure out what happens in the next week.
That's right.
Possible torture and punishment if I don't do everything next week.
Exactly. So it'll be a fun show next week. For those of you out there in certain areas of the country, be safe. I know we're
Yes.
supposed to be getting a lot of snow. I'm supposed to be getting snow tomorrow.
Or so are we.
Okay. So at least in the North Midwest, we're supposed to be getting some snow. What about you, Adrian?
I think we're good. We've had all we're getting.
Nope.
And once again, everybody out in Southern California, please be safe out there. And, just if it's coming your way, just get out of there as soon as you possibly can.
Let's see if I can get the very latest. So far, it's still saying 5 dead.
Okay.
But countless homes, businesses are lost. I've been seeing all over Facebook that the high school that was used in several movies, like in Carrie, the high school has been burned down.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yep.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
Piece of history gone.
that whole area has just been ravaged,
Jeez.
to say the least. Lots of people have lost their homes.
Including several celebrities.
Yes. But They had the money. Well, everybody has got home insurance, I would like to think,
Yeah.
but that's beside the point. They didn't just lose their home, but they lost everything, including the vehicles where people were driving and the fires came up and there were so many vehicles they couldn't move. So they abandoned their vehicles and left, and they're all now all charred.
Basically, it's like they left with nothing but the clothes on their backs.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they got that,
Yep.
yeah.
They have their lives. That's what matters.
Right.
Far as Eileen finally winning, she won an award last year too, didn't she?
I think so.
I thought she did. Yeah, I thought she
Elementary school and high school all burned down. Both of them did.
Yeah. Okay, it's 11:36. I'm tired. I'm getting off.
10:36.
All right, and 9:36 for her, so it's still
11, 10, 9.
after bedtime.
I'm the old one though, so I should be in bed 36 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Be safe out there, depending on where you're at, and we will see you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.